I just noticed they eat the Marine. Did you see that?
The ghost. Yeah.
I actually hadn't noticed it until now.
I didn't notice it was like a skeleton. Yeah. It's pretty sick. Awesome
I always thought it's a lot of Mutalisks, but I didn't notice they actually picked
all
that ghost to the bone.
Wow. Yeah, some skewer action right there.
That's right. What's up, everybody? We're back here at the RSL. We're going to be wrapping up the group stage here today. We did Group D yesterday. There was a schedule conflict for one of our players playing today here in Group C. So yeah, you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
It was we're finally doing Group C now. And what a group this is, by the way. 3 Protosses and a Zerg.
Yes, 3 Protosses coming on in. SHIN as the lone Zerg is going to be going against all those different Protosses. We got Classic, we got herO, we got SHIN, and then we have Trap. Trap has been voted in to the tournament, and I am a little bit excited
on his face right now. He is just
I am
so
slightly
happy.
excited. I am trying to temper my expectations, but yeah, it's cool to see him back.
It's good to have him back here, you know. One of the greatest Protosses ever.
Yep.
I do love that we have this fan vote. I think we got a lot of interesting players here. And overall, this has been maybe the most exciting RSL yet. We've got SEOL playing. So happy to have him. We've had these new faces. I think for a lot of people that watch competitive StarCraft, they might not have been as familiar with a player like GG Machine. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's been a great season so far. We had Scarlet looking amazing the other day. Did not survive, but still very exciting. Anyways, this is our schedule if you want to follow live here where we stream.
Yes, and I thought you were going to keep going.
I can keep going. Our finals will be at BlizzCon. I can just go. I can go on forever.
So go. I just caught me off guard.
The finals is going to be. Oh, now you talk. No, the finals is going to be at BlizzCon, guys. It's going to be so sick. We're going to be on the big stage. Some of you guys are asking me, like, where do I go at BlizzCon to see it? Like it's gonna be somewhere,
some hidden
location,
basement dungeon.
Like someone's gonna open up a little door where you can only see the eyes, and they're gonna go, "What's the password?" It's gonna be on the stage.
The stage.
There are 4 stages at BlizzCon, or at least there were before. I assume there's 4 again this time. We're gonna be on the Classic Games one, so you'll be there. You'll be able to cheer if you get your BlizzCon ticket. I assume they're all sold out. If you want to join us live, we are starting earlier. And in case you're in Mount Everest. You're freezing to death up there. You're waiting for that helicopter to come save you because you made the mistake of trying to trek up Mount Everest, and now you realize you're going to die.
Your oxygen tank's about to
You had a
time
midlife
out.
crisis in your 40s, and now you're dying in Mount Everest because you tried to prove something to yourself, and you're just sitting up there freezing alone, probably wondering who's going to get out of Group C for the RSL. This is probably a good way to spend the last, couple of hours of your life. Now you won't miss it.
Yeah, it's good.
Now you won't miss it.
Nothing's more important than figuring out who gets out of this group, man. If
I know.
On your last couple ounces of oxygen.
You could have used the last few percentages of battery on your phone to call your family and say goodbye before you froze to death, because that helicopter is not going to find you. No, it's not. But instead, you're watching us, and we'll take it.
Yeah.
As long as you're a Patreon supporter.
Absolutely.
Now, this is an important thing we got to talk about, guys. Archon Studio, the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game.
What?
They are supporting the RSL, and we want you to support them back. Go buy their miniature sets. They've been very generous to us. They've been sending us the miniatures. We have Ziggy in the studio every day painting them, and they look amazing. It is so sick what they did. This is kind of like the perfect item for a fan of StarCraft.
Yeah, they look really nice, and of course they are actually a game itself to play, so once you have everything, you don't even have to paint them if you don't want to, if you don't have the means to, but, actually just playing the game itself, of course, if you just want to have a nice little tabletop game, hopefully it's very nice. Hope you guys can all get some of those.
You better get some of those, or else.
We'll come get you.
You know what else you better do? You better get on the old browser and go to patreon.com/revive SC2. We need your support. Join the RSL army here. We've got different tiers depending on where you're at and your willingness to support. The more that you support us, the more you get to interact with the tournament. So we've got these player votes and map votes. And by the way, I think we've got some fantastic maps that have made for some really interesting games here. I think our community has been killing it with that. So if you haven't signed up already, we hope you consider joining us.
Yes, go ahead and check out the merch site as well, tastelessthreads.com. If you are a Patreon supporter, you do get 20% discount on all the stuff that we have over there. You can get all types of shirts, sweatshirts, random gamer stuff.
I mean, look at that mouse pad. How cool is that? It's a brain and a melting skull. I just realized the skull is kind of melting. But
Yeah.
A skull is melting.
What has to happen for that
What has to happen?
You're just such insane APM, man.
That's just so... It's when you see that strategy Scarlett was trying the other day and your face melts right off. We need you also. We got a lot of stuff you got to do. I just want you guys to understand this. It's not just buy the merch. We need you to go on YouTube now. All right. By the way, I don't have any clean underwear. I need the laundry done, okay? We're running out of clean underwear. Please, if you could throw some into the wash for me. Stop messing around, Gemini. This is
pour my tea for me. Pour it into my mouth, please.
That's right. If you could please, viewers, chew my food for me and spit it into my mouth. No, go back. This is important. Stop messing around, everybody. This is serious business.
Okay.
Go to the YouTube and subscribe. All right, now go back.
Excellent.
Good. There we go.
Classic
Now,
and Trap.
This is going to be a good matchup. I'm worried, though. You know, Trap is looking very short today. There's definitely a height advantage here for Classic.
Classic is kind of mogging.
Classic's got a good foot on Trap. Look at this.
That is true. Trap does need to maybe tilt that webcam down a little bit or something, but...
What is going on with Trap's room?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't
like
really
he
tell
has.
what's back there.
Is that like...
It's like one of those unfoldable things that like covers everything behind there or
Okay,
something.
that's what it is. I was like, it looks like he's got cabinets, but then there's like cabinets behind his cabinets.
I don't know what's going on back there. But anyways, we're going to be loading into the first map here. It's going to be Fear and Faith as our first map to go into. Classic versus Trap, the return of one of the best Protoss players in Legacy that we've had. I'm going to be as little... I'm trying to let the bias not come out.
You can be biased. It's okay.
Okay, I'm just going to be the most biased caster of all time.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Gemini's going to have a hard time
I can
not
do
cheering.
that.
He's going to be like, watch out, Trap.
Oh my God, Trap!
Prism's coming. No,
Trap, you're about to be supply blocked. Quick, another pylon!
Trap, if you don't mic our units perfectly, you'll lose this game. Ah!
That's exactly what I sound like at home when I'm watching. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like trying to cast and Gemini just banging pots and pans together. He's like, Trap's played! If he advances, I get to cast more of his games. Yes. Why is my family so worried about me?
Why have I not received any messages from them in the last 10 months?
Is the fan on? I'm sorry to break the fourth wall. Is the fan actually on? Can we turn that up? It's actually pretty hot.
It is
here.
but it's not really pointing.
We're going to come back on camera, and I'm just going to be covered in sweat. I'm like, man, those games were crazy. Thank you, guys. Thank you for turning that fan on. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have a lot of PvPs here today.
Yes.
I'm curious how the game is going to look. You know, a lot of times, and I was saying this yesterday, but now that we actually have all the mirror matchups, I think I can talk about it a little bit more. You know, people think a lot about, like, okay, how does TVP look or PVZ or whatever.
Yep.
And you think about the asymmetric matchups, and I think that's the normal thing to do when you think about balance changes. But, you know, when you make the kind of changes that we've seen now in StarCraft 2 in the last couple of iterations, I mean, there's a lot that could impact the mirror matchups and how they develop.
Yeah. Interestingly enough as well, with how this is going, both players being pretty economic, but Trap is actually going for a Nexus first against Classic's one-gate expand Nexus. So it's a bit interesting because it's a high ground natural in this particular map, and it's a 4-player map, so both players want to try and leverage that and get as much economy going as possible. And so the fact that Classic's gone one gate is not too unexpected, but then Trap going for the Nexus first as well, making it kind of like one-upping that attempted eco-greed, essentially, is really interesting here. So I'm curious how this particular interaction actually works out, because this is the kind of stuff has been coming more popular with the patch as well. A couple players have been trying to go for some of these Nexus first builds,
right,
with the way that the new economy works and the new warp gate works and everything like that. So yeah, only just now is Classic going to be scouting this, so he gets the latest possible intel that it was Nexus first as well. So coming out of the gate, this is actually looking pretty okay for Trap, assuming that his follow-up is quite sound.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to just like cruise right by the early game here, with both players just basically taking a Nexus here. You know, PvP, it can be, you know, the most explosive mirror matchup. I think it's probably statistically the shortest matchup, right, that we've got here. But it looks like this is not going to be one of those.
Yeah, well, we definitely have a short player in the webcam, that's for
That's
sure.
right, yeah. Travis is getting
Really-
smaller. Travis is getting smaller.
So tiny.
He's smaller than he was earlier. Did you see that? I think he dropped a couple centimeters.
Oh, it looks so
By the time
ridiculous.
we're done with this cast, he's going to be like, you know the Indian in the cupboard, the little figurine that comes to life? He's just going to be walking across my desk. Yeah. It's going to be a little homunculus trap walking around.
My God. So ridiculous.
So, I mean, yeah, Classic with the base up and running. Trap, by the way, is not gone for Stargate Tech where Classic has.
So interestingly enough, that Adept got in pretty early, and yeah, it looks like Trap was trying to be kind of sneaky. He actually is trying to put a pylon down in Classic's main base that did get scouted. It looks like Trap is trying to go for some very fast warp gate aggression after going for the Nexus first to try and as an attempted mind game here. And really, there's not too much here to defend from Classic since he went for one gate expand into Stargate. So Trap is just sending everything across the map. That Oracle thankfully got back to that battery, does get healed up there, as that's really one of the only things that Classic has to defend right now. As there's still a pylon in the main base, he can definitely warp in right now.
This is getting crazy. Can I tell you something? I actually did not realize that wasn't his pylon. He put it out. I was like, oh, he's made another pylon. Okay, crazy. No, that's actually his. He's warping it now. This is getting kind of nuts here. The probes are going to get be able to corner the Stalkers here. They can't really micro away. But this is a lot of worker kills. The damage has been spread pretty evenly, but if the Zealot... Oh my god, he actually could have killed like 3 or 4 more probes there had he distributed the damage a little bit better. He's going to get another warp in. The pylon's going to go down, forcing a cancel.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice denial here for Classic, of course. He's already got a pretty good defense. I mean, he's got a large probe count, so he doesn't really care that he's only lost 5 probes, and now the Void Ray is out as well, meaning that this is basically going to spell the end for the attack. The probe from Trap is actually still in the main base. That could have been really funny if he was paying attention and got another pylon on the right-hand side during all that. That actually could have continued the aggression if he was able to do that, but unfortunately unable to do so. And now he's actually behind in workers quite heavily because he was cutting that entire time when that attack was happening. He was really kind of hoping for that aggression to pay off. And yeah, it didn't seem like it really worked very well. I mean, the fact that he got like cornered in the side there by the probes was a bit. I don't know. I feel like
I was kind of surprised he didn't like move out of the way.
Yeah, I thought he was going to micro around the probes a little bit
Yeah.
better, but unfortunately just got surrounded and lost everything.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. It might look like Trap dealt a decent amount of damage, but he is actually playing from behind here. Like you were saying, he had cut a lot of workers to try to pull that off. Now, Classic doesn't know how many workers were cut, right? So the game might be a little bit more ambiguous from his perspective.
Double Adept could be pretty good, though, if they do find their way past the army. Thankfully for Classic, he's got everything in preparation at the natural, so Double Adept is not going to find anything, but that is basically what Trap is kind of hinging on at this point to try and get some economic damage going back his way. Since there are 2 Oracles out for Classic, there's still a high chance that he can still kill a lot of workers himself, and that will only put Trap in a worse position, and there's not really anything positioned in the main base either, so that's going to mean a couple dead probes really quickly here. 5 in total get killed off before there are even any Stalkers in the main base to respond. So yeah, Classic is continuing to kind of run circles around Trap at this point, coming out ahead after that nice defense.
Yeah, he's got a probe over here in the bottom left. Would he want to hide a Nexus?
That would be a decent play, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, on a map like this, like I actually think hidden bases are the strongest.
Yeah.
In games like this, like it's that bottom left location is so far away. Yeah, he's gonna do it. Scumbag hidden Nexus.
I mean, you got to find some way to get back in this game, right? I mean, he's so far behind.
I call the hidden Nexus the old replay ruiner.
The replay
You're
ruiner.
like, what did I do wrong? And then you load up and you find a hidden Nexus. You go, oh my god.
It was the simplest tactic, and I didn't think about it.
This is actually why I have to review my replays. It's like the number of times I've been like, oh, there was a hidden base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is very frustrating when you just kind of let that go, and then you just the entire game. You're like, how does he keep having so much?
You're like, this is crazy. This
game
guy's
should have been
so
over.
good. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, yeah, he's able to. I'm ahead of base, but he's somehow just fighting back so well.
I thought this guy was a diamond player. What's going on here? Yeah, so if Trap could get that up and running, of course, that's going to help out a lot, but I don't think Classic's going to really let him get there, as his army is quite large. Trap is, of course, cutting so much in his army and production to be able to get this hidden third base up before Classic does, while already on a lesser economy as well. So Classic is definitely going to not let this go unpunished. He's also got Blink finished right now with this attack, so I think it's going to be very difficult for Trap to hold on to this push.
Ooh, man, this actually could be the killing blow. This hidden Nexus may end up staying a secret here, as I think Trap is just going to get killed off. This is way too much damage. The fact that this is fighting, they're fighting over the Robo here as well is a little bit alarming because, the one thing that would probably curb the progress would be an Immortal that pops out. But actually, Classic backs up, so never mind. I actually thought the game was going to spiral out of control, but he decides to back up.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Classic didn't push the issue more there. It felt like he definitely had a pretty solid advantage. I guess he doesn't have a... no, he does have a pylon on like the bottom left towards that base, so I really thought that he was going to try to use that maybe to get a couple extra warp-ins and just try to keep going. I felt like he definitely could have done that, but maybe just seeing that Trap looks like he's on 2 bases right now, doesn't want to go too crazy with it, just wants to make sure he's nice and safe back at home himself, so that way he doesn't overextend into something that ends up being kind of like a 2-base all-in response. But it is actually a fast 3rd base. So, of course, Classic, though, is going to scout this, as he's really being very diligent with all these pylons, trying to block everything, but it's already been taken, so now the gig is up, and I think Classic is going to now try to go across the map, I would think, but no, he's actually going to keep staying home. Okay. He just wants to let this ride out for a little bit.
I think he'll probably just warp in like a Zealot, send it over here.
Yeah.
That sucks. One of the reasons why, like, if you're learning the game, generally, like, always going for hidden bases is a bad move, is because it's like, if it's one of these things, like, you're basically hoping your opponent does a scout.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like you're going for a certain play style or anything. It is, I think, an okay move if you're in a pretty bad game and you're like, well, I don't really see any easy way to play this other than to just, like, hide a base.
Lots of adepts getting warped in on that pylon as well, with Glaives finished researching, so that probe line is going to instantly die. So that hidden base is basically forfeit at this point. You don't want to try to save that anymore as Trap, as it's basically a lost cause. And now he's going to be really far behind at this point, because he's put all of his eggs into that basket of trying to have the hidden base get him back into this game, thinking that Classic might not expect it, and then he might, be a little bit too passive, and then Trap could find a way back into the game that way. But, of course, with that dead, he's actually retaking it immediately, which is kind of funny. Actually, no, it didn't die yet. Sorry, he didn't focus it. As, of course, the army's coming down. So he's going to just end the game. Classic felt like he was pretty in control overall in that game.
Looked really good.
I like the idea that Trap had, going for the Nexus first, and then into like a 3-gate all-in, essentially, to kind of fake the attempted greed there, and seeing that Classic had gone for 1 gate as well, it could work out really well. But of course, Classic got the scout on that pylon just early enough, and then I think Trap honestly just messed up the micro in the main base. I think he could have gotten a little bit more with what he had there.
Yeah, it was a pretty novel game. We had that harass come in. I agree with you. I think he could have killed like maybe even 4 more probes.
Yeah. I think.
I think sometimes, especially with Stalkers, I think targeting. How many Stalker hits kill a probe?
It's 4.
It's 4, right? Okay, yeah.
He had enough units to one-shot probes.
Yeah,
right there.
Exactly. So then it would be better to just shift-click him.
It would he either needed to... He did neither of the 2 things. He didn't shift-click the probes down, and he also didn't move away from them to focus down the Stalker that was attacking him.
Yeah.
He should have done either of those things, I think. Either you all in onto the probes and make sure you kill as many as possible, knowing that you cut so many, or you try to snowball and hit the attacking units, so that way then you can continue to keep your units alive and warp in more and whatnot. So the fact that he did neither of those things kind of ended up having the push be held pretty simply. So we'll see if Trap has anything else up his sleeve this time, as it seems like he's kind of coming into this series thinking he's the underdog, knowing he's the underdog,
right,
and wanting to try to catch Classic with his pants down, essentially.
Okay, into game 2 we go. I do think Trap has a better shot at maybe taking a game or 2 here today. I know he's not in the same kind of shape. I mean, he's appeared where Trap was like the GOAT, for Protoss, or one of them at least. But, we're in a new patch, so sometimes, like, just kind of, if you have, like, a really good idea to start the game with, sometimes that can carry you. We'll see if that's going to happen this time around. I think that's kind of what he was trying in the last game.
Yeah, no. And again, the idea was cool. I liked what he did. I thought it was a good idea, but just the execution, I think, just wasn't quite there yet. Because, of course, Trap has only kind of just recently come back a little bit. He came back for that Douyu Cup in China.
Right.
He hadn't played for basically like a year plus at that point, so only just kind of getting into the swing of things in the last few months, and then he just kind of decided he wanted to keep playing a little bit more again, and now he's voted into RSL, so he's trying his best. But yeah, Classic is, last year was like one of the best Protosses that we had.
Yeah, I mean, Classic. It's funny because he had a period where he was really, really strong, and then he kind of fell off. But he's, last year was one of the best years I think ever for him.
Yeah,
if not the best year ever for him. So this game, we have Trap going for the first scout, going right through the center of the map. No scout yet here for Classic.
Yeah, the timings of all the build orders in PvP right now are a little bit wonky. Players are still trying to figure out how the build orders work, when exactly do the buildings come in, when do you want to scout, because PvP itself is pretty... like, you need a lot of resources early on because you are generally trying to go for the 2 gateways, you're trying to get the cyber, the 2 gas. So there's a lot of stuff you need to get, and the fact that you're doing it off of only 8 workers now, it's kind of made it a little difficult to get all the timings working out. It's even to the point where, like, if you go for 2 gate and cyber like normally you would, you have a small little delay before the second unit can get made. So some alterations have had to be made to some of the builds. Some players are favoring certain orders, some players are favoring other ones. So yeah, there's a lot of experimentation, and going for early scouts feels like it also impacts those build choices a lot as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this game, is going to be a little bit more in line with like PvPs that we've seen before. Both sides going for 2 gates, both sides going for stalkers. We're going to wait for that fork in the road here as far as build order selections. And yeah, hopefully this game is going to be a little bit of a better one here for Trap. It's so cool to have him back.
You don't need to tell me that.
Oh, no. Gemini's on cloud 9 right now.
This is the first time I've actually ever casted him like in a real tournament, not just like on my stream, like just replays or something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Yeah, it's cool.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
He got even smaller. Look at that. He's getting smaller and smaller. His webcam.
Like you got to like just move his webcam down to the overlay slightly.
Yeah,
every
we move his
time.
webcam down and we see that there's little shoes right below his chin. I'm like, oh, he's so much smaller than I remembered.
Oh my god. So yeah, both players just being sharking around with their early stalkers, trying to find any probes, trying to find if there's any proxies or anything like that, as you could still go for that type of style in the current patch as well. But both players playing very standard, it looks like. They're just going for the Nexuses after a couple rounds of units. Both players also opting for some sentries, but looks like Trap did go for 2 Adepts before the sentries. So he's going to have some more potential for aggression if he wants to send those on in. Hopefully he can maybe bypass the wall if Classic is not quite ready with a probe there to block it. Or he might just wait until later and try to just send them into the natural once the probes start to go down there as well. So Trap is trying to get some probe damage with these double Adepts, whereas Classic is going for the faster Twilight Council.
All right, Warp Gate about to finish up here. It looks like it is going to be a game that no one really can attack, going to really do a whole lot. We're going to have the Adept. Whoa, that was insane.
Oh, that's so unlucky for him that he didn't get the second one in there, but still will be able to get at least 2 probes, which is something. And I guess you waste a couple force field energy, but you definitely wanted more, but still it's kind of okay. He ends up ahead in the probe count in this early exchange, so it's not the greatest. You don't really want to just suicide them for 2, of course. You want to, you were kind of hoping for like 4 or 5.
It was a very unique situation because normally you if you're going to commit, you always get 2 in, right? But that was like so down to like a fraction of a second. Like, is he going to get the block up or not? It actually bounced the Adept out when the shade had finished.
It's a really weird interaction, and the fact that it happened so quickly when the Adepts were also shading in, Trap had no time to react to cancel it, because obviously you would want to cancel it at that point if you were the Adept player. But yeah, unable to get that off, but at least he was able to salvage it a little bit by getting a few, but not exactly the greatest situation. But basically what this is going to mean is that Classic is going to have a little opportunity here where his blink is going to be ahead of Trap's, so he might have some opportunity for more aggression. It's going to be a small window, but it's still something that possibly Classic might be looking to abuse, knowing that he has a faster Twilight Council.
Okay, he's going to try to shade in and get blocked, but the Adepts down here are actually going to get 3 probe kills. Really nicely done. He's going to complete the shade. Dude, he's going to get 5 probes. If he can have these shots synced up, yeah, there's no way the battery can heal it. This is actually crazy. Trap already taking a beating here.
Yeah, that is an insane amount of probes to lose at this point. 7 to 2 Adepts, as all of his units were out on the map. Ooh, I'm not sure exactly what Trap is doing with these units over on the left-hand side. It's a bit rough to have his stuff being out of position there to the 2 Adepts. I guess he just didn't really expect the extra aggression coming out of Classic, so a bit unfortunate for him. It's going to mean that he's basically even on probes at this point, so looks like Classic's not going to continue with the blink aggression either, seeing that Trap's army was on the map, so he's just kind of respecting that potential that Trap might be being a little bit more aggressive himself.
He's going to come down now, finally get the kill there on the Adept. The overall trajectory right now for Trap in this game is pretty bad. This is not all StarCraft games are as complicated as each other, right? Like this is like you're just down on workers. You're down on workers. Classic has taken, I mean, besides the 2 probes that were killed, basically no damage, and that was a bit more of a trade, right? 2 adepts for 2 probes. I don't think there's a world where Trap can actually keep a 3rd base. So I think this game is going to gradually just end.
Yeah, Trap is going to be needing to defend this 3rd base right now as Classic is pushing it pretty hard as he's got an Immortal here as well. Nice force fields to split this up for now, but yeah, you got to cancel that as Trap. There's no way you can defend this position right now. Classic invested way more into Army than Trap has in this point, so he's going to need to cancel that. Thankfully for him, Classic hasn't actually started a Nexus on the other side either, so Trap has an opportunity. You can see what he's doing. He's throwing down 5 gateways and the double gas. He looks like he's going to really hard commit into a 2-base setup, so if he can survive this push, he might have an opportunity. Never mind. It's just gonna end right there.
Sorry, Gemini. It's over.
It's over. He's dead. I'm on copium right now.
That's okay. Well, I mean, Classic just played way better.
Yeah.
I mean, the game 2 was not. There's not a lot to unpack there, right? I mean, you lose workers to harass. And
it's like, with 7 probes to a double adept?
Turns out these workers are pretty good.
Yeah.
Turns out they get a lot of resources.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate that Trap dies there, but he's not out yet. We're still in Group C here.
Yes, only the first match.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of what we maybe expected coming in here. I mean, Trap is definitely the clear underdog in this group. He's not at the form that he once was. And Classic just kind of looking like the solid superior player. In this particular match, it was, a little bit of an outclassing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to see if Trap can recover in the losers match. Classic moving on. Guys, join the righteous cause. Get on the Patreon. Enter your credit card number.
And the 3 digits on the back.
And the 3 digits on the back. That's important. You can't do it without the 3 digits on the back. Mom, what are the 3 digits on the credit card? You will be supporting the production cost, the prize pool. We are doing, and I'm going to say, I think we need to say this a couple times each hour. So we have a big offline event at the end of the year, and that's on top of our Season 6 finals at BlizzCon.
Yep.
I can't blame people for being confused about this, right? Because we called it the offline finals, and now we also have an offline finals for Season 6. So we'll have a different name for stuff in 2027. But yeah, you'll be supporting the cause.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely do that, guys.
Yeah.
Save StarCraft.
Save it. Yeah. Get the paddles out. Get the heart beating again. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will continue on with today's RSL. We'll build here tomorrow.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be going into our second match, which is going to be a PvZ. Sturgeon joining up for a Zerg match. You're very hyped to see this one, I know. You are very looking forward to seeing what herO has to bring to the PvZ table.
Well, I feel like you put some words in my mouth there, but...
I thought you said you were so hyped about herO.
I mean, herO's the guy that we look to kind of define the meta, right? And come up with some new stuff, so... I am very curious what his take is on PvZ right now. Is he going to be making a ground style work? Or is he going to be going Sky Toss? What's going to be up with that? And also SHIN. He has been playing so well recently in the last few seasons of RSL and in general. So I think this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what herO's coming here. Because he obviously has very interesting styles. We all know him as being someone very cheeky. He comes up with very interesting builds that kind of no one else does. He's also very good at making really interesting wall-offs that are interesting to study.
Oh, yeah. Just ignore those and take the rest of his game.
Exactly. But yeah, very excited to see what this match is going to have.
Yeah, we see our maps at the bottom. We got Ruby Rock, Old Sun Temple, one of the bigger maps, and then Eternity's Edge.
Yes.
Which we've changed.
No at.
We've changed it. We're getting rid of the at. It's Eternity's Edge now.
Yeah.
They're going to be the 3 maps, and like I said, can't wait to see what these guys do in this matchup, especially herO. What are your predictions here? Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's hard to know based off of just the patch, I feel like. I mean, things have been changed so frequently. It's hard to know exactly where these players sit with everything, what their styles are even going to be. I mean, herO could come out with something that we've never seen before and just body SHIN, or maybe SHIN is just going to, easily thwart the ground toss plays or something. So, yeah, I'm really not sure. I feel like it's a kind of up in the air, 50-50 match, but maybe a little bit more towards herO.
More importantly, who do you want Trap to play next? I know you're super excited for his return and
that's
kind
an
of debut in the RSL.
Well. I mean, no one in this group is easy. He got the 2 best Protosses and he got like one of the best Zergs.
It is a very tough group.
It's pretty brutal. So Yeah, I don't even know. That's going to be rough no matter what.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes as the group unfolds. We are going to be loading into map number 1, Ruby Rock. We have SHIN in the top left, and we have herO in the bottom right. It's time to get things started here.
No early pools coming out of SHIN, so he doesn't want to do anything super insane. I heard that a 10 pool could be pretty good overall. I think... have you been enjoying that on the ladders? Have you been trying that out at all?
I've been using it a lot because I saw SEROL use it at Home Story Cup, and of course SEROL made it look broken. And then I used it, and I was like, oh, I'm losing all these games. Maybe I'll just go back to play it normal.
The SEROL effect.
Yeah, no, it literally is the SEROL effect. You watch SEROL play a build, and you think, oh, this build never loses.
Yeah.
And like, no, it's just the player.
Yeah.
It's actually just the player.
That's so funny.
But I think it is a pretty strong build, and it can definitely catch Protos's, you know, by surprise at the beginning of a patch, especially after a worker change.
Right.
When you don't have all the responses completely ironed out. So we'll have to see how long that one does stay, if at all, in the meta as things progress. One thing that is in the meta is that Protos's can do this every game now. They can force the Zerg to take their second base at the third base location. Going to be a pull first here from SHIN, not a super early one. Following up with the hatchery, which will have to be over that third, as we were saying.
Yeah, it's basically a gimme at this point from the Protoss perspective to always go for that cancel. And you can see SHIN kind of mind gaming this a little bit, but herO is not going to have it. He's keeping his probe down there as well, but only for just a little bit, and SHIN will actually manage it. So very late on the drone pull there, just kind of keeping it as far away as possible and bringing it in at the last possible second. So herO thinking he gets the block over onto the third base, but will actually get that natural. So nice little moves there from SHIN, the early interactions going into his favor for now.
Yeah, that's the advantage to go and pool first, right? Like the Protoss thinks, oh, you have to be taking the hatchery now, but you built the pool, so your hatchery is going to go down later, so that makes him think he can go into the main without dropping a pylon. And then, yeah, you can go back in and nab that base of the natural. I really like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. The Overlord will see the wall here, looking all standard. Cybercore on the way. Nexus to come down after core.
I'm very curious about the Zealot. I really wonder what the need for this. I mean, he didn't scout like you said. The pool was pool first, but it wasn't like an insanely early pool or anything like that. I guess the Lings are on their way across, so I guess he does just want to be super safe. As actually they are across already, so just wanted to make sure that he has something here and will be able to respond in kind. So we'll be able to just send one of these Lings in, and then the other 3 will follow suit. Pulling back, actually waiting for a few more of them. He does actually make a lot, so never mind. I'm totally wrong here. I didn't realize that he actually had so many Lings coming on out. So Zealot, good. Nice job, herO.
Yeah, good choice there. I mean, these Lings do not have speed or anything coming soon, so I'm actually kind of wondering about this choice. Like, has this paid... I mean, if you didn't have the core before the Nexus, if you engage the Nexus, the Adept will be much later, and the Lings can kind of run around and try to get some damage done. But the way herO's done it with the core before the Nexus, this Adept is out so early that the Lings have not done anything except scout, basically. So I think that's a small win for herO in the early game.
Yeah, definitely, and he can still have this Adept roaming into the main base as well, as of course speed is not going to be done for quite a while, so he's going to be able to move around and maybe force out some extra ones. Might be able to kill some nice moves overall from here to keep this thing alive for as long as possible. Yeah, that was really nice. That's the kind of micro I wish Trav was doing that last series, man. What's going on here? But yeah, it's going to be a Stargate back at home as well. Likely going to be going into an Oracle. Could, I guess, go for Void Ray as well anyway, but yeah, Oracle is going to be the most solid choice to be able to try and get some harassment done.
Yep, SHIN's going to be taking his third base now, adding in a couple more Lings as his speed will be finished soon. We'll be trying to shark around, catch the probe who tries to make the third Nexus or just be annoying at the wall. And also scout what it is herO's doing. He's going to go for the Twilight after the Oracle. So that opens up a lot of different options for him. I think the Blink Stalker pressure is not as good as it used to be.
Yep.
Even though the Gateway's just got that extra 10% buff, production buff. So we'll have to see if he wants to go for that or if it's going to be Glaives or something more, you know, aggressive here, like earlier, I should say.
Yeah, the timing of the Twilight does kind of make it seem like it's going to be a glaive opener, especially since he's going for so many Adepts out of the Gateway itself. It's more likely that's going to be the case. Adepts also did get buffed in the most recent patch a couple days ago as well, with the upgrades also scaling a little bit better. But of course, that's not really going to play into the early interactions, but if maybe herO wanted to lean into that a little bit more, maybe there's a chance for that. But yeah, it's going to be that glaive opening coming on out, so Stargate into glaives. A very popular build from the pre-patch as well. but a lot of players have been kind of favoring this as one of the only real potential aggressive options in early game PvZ now, just given the way that the Warp Gate things have worked out. Oh, interesting, going into a Phoenix afterwards as well. Wonder what that's going to be about.
Yeah, very interesting. I wonder if he'll make more, if it's just going to be one Phoenix here to clear out the Overlord.
Yeah.
Probably the case, I would imagine. And then now it's all about how quickly does Shin figure out that it is glaives, and how many drones does he make before he starts making units. If you over-drone here, you can very easily take critical damage to the Adepts, and then once they're in a mineral line, they shade to another one. You have all your drones running around, losing all that mining time. So he'll be looking for the scout soon. We do see those Adepts leaving the Protoss third base right now. And there is a Ling here in the grass, so he does know something is coming potentially.
Yeah, there is a lot of Adepts to scout, and you can see that Shin is respecting that with lots of Zerglings in the production tab right there. A Baneling Nest also getting placed down for the defense, but it's not going to be ready in time before these Adepts make their way across. The Glaive research will finish, and now the Adepts are going to send themselves across, so it's going to just be the Lings and the Queens defending for now. The Baneling Nest will be coming basically for phase 2 if that does come out. But the Adepts are already here, and there's definitely some chance for damage.
Yeah, Shin's actually supply blocked right now, and he's making 3 Overlords at once. Can't make any more units for the moment. Just now going to be able to start some more Lings. Huge catch on these Adepts with the Lings and the Queens, but the Lings don't have the damage. They actually have to retreat there. So the Adepts find this mineral line. The drones are pulled. So many Queens coming over to help out. But where's the next shade?
It's going to go into the main base here. The drones were not pulled yet, but a nice pull will be able to keep them away for now. Trying to buy time for these Banelings and extra Lings to come out, and they will try to get the surround. Gets a couple connections, but the most of them do not die, but they will end up getting cleared up by the rest of the reinforcements. So a pretty okay defense, I would say. Oh, actually, yeah, only 5 drones. I thought a couple more did die, but 42 Lings getting killed off in the exchange as well. So that means that Shin is pretty behind on the worker count. So that's still going to be actually pretty decent for herO.
Yeah, and his transition here is going to be going for that flea beacon, going into some kind of capital ships down the line. Maybe a mothership here as he is going into Blink and Stalkers. It's got to be the mothership first. But like you said, he didn't kill that many drones, but the indirect damage of forcing that many Lings, that many lava being used on army units instead of drones means that herO's economy looks very good right now. 67 to 58. Of course, Drug can just hold down that drone button and catch up in a moment. But yeah, for the moment, I think herO is in a good spot. Going to try to continue the harassment here.
Yeah, I like this. It's kind of cute. Just 4 Adepts and a Stasis Ward. If Shin was not paying attention, that could have been very nice there. But a couple Banelings will be able to defend, but 4 more drones. Again, very nice. Keeping the economy in check from herO as he goes into that Mothership and the Blink +1. Mothership has become a very important staple unit of the PvZ matchup. It's something that Zergs don't really have a solid answer to in the early and mid game, and it's something that can be very used to great effect. There's so much utility with that, of course, with the cloak, with the time warp, and then honestly they just do good. It does good damage. Like the damage buff that it got a couple patches ago makes it pretty good as a fighting unit supportively from the sky. So it just doesn't die. So it's a great thing to have.
Yeah, the Mothership is actually so scary for Zergs at the moment. When that thing comes out, it's such a huge power spike. Like, first of all, you need detection. You need anti-air. Like, you need all these things to be able to deal with it. That little scuttler, whatever that thing is, got revealed there. So herO knows where that little crab thing is going.
Very important. You need to make sure you know where all the critters on the map are.
Keep track of those critters. You never know.
Don't want them blocking your bases.
It could be a double
accident.
agent, a spy. Like
That's true. A Scantipede, yes.
Scantipede, okay.
Nice, very good. Looks like it's going to be a muted transition coming out from Shin, though. Ooh. We'll see how... Oh, did he just cancel them? Yeah, he canceled them and made Corruptors. I was about to say, it didn't seem like he knew that there was actually a Mothership on the field, but he did just get the scout right then with the Zerglings, so we'll go straight into the Corruptors. So it would have been a lot of muta harass if it wasn't for that scout, so thankfully he did actually get that information. Otherwise, he could have been in a really awkward situation because you don't really want to be going into a sudden muta transition when your opponent is already on Blink Stalker and a Mothership.
Yeah, the Mothership alone can deal with lots of mutas. Shin actually trying to catch some of these Stalkers here, but here comes the Mothership and the Oracle to help out. Not going to be able to pick off a huge amount of those. herO going for that 4th base now. Bane speed on the way, Hydra range, Storm finishing up, and +2 on the way as well as charge. So upgrades firing on both sides of this game at the moment as herO starts to get aggressive in the middle of the map.
I'm always surprised with how aggressive herO will be with some of these move outs. You really feel like he would be kind of waiting until he's a bit more close to max out, but he really does like to move across. Once he's got Storm Research and quite a lot of Storm energy on these Templar, and he's just going to go right on into this third base. Lots of Storms getting blanketed down, making it very difficult for SHIN to go for this attack at a time where it really feels like SHIN isn't really prepared for this, but the flanking Corruptors from the bottom are going to be able to deal with this Mothership. A nice Time Warp will be able to keep it alive for just a little bit, but it is going to get picked off. And I would say that, I don't know, I feel like herO, when he goes for some of these pushes, it feels like they're kind of random attacks that don't really have too much that you can get done with them, and it felt like he didn't get too much done there either.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, now he's going to make the transition into Archons and Immortals. He's going to throw down a second Robo, try to get a bigger, beefier late-game army. But SHIN is not going to go for the Supreme late game. He's not going to go to Hive. It looks like he's going to be trying to make this Lingbane Hydra attack work, because these Corruptors are going to come in, try to take out this Nexus. Oh. There's no army here at the moment. I don't know how many Warp Gates he has right now, if he can actually warp in anything to stop this. Okay, he does have 4 Stalkers warping in, but it looks like this Nexus is just going to go down to that handful of Corruptors.
That is just so much damage very quickly. Those Corruptors will be able to get out without basically losing anything. And now the rest of the army can go over to this 4th base and easily be able to kill absolutely everything. If the Baneling will just connect onto the probes. Just what? Oh my, come on, man.
Pull the trigger.
Oh my goodness. He's going to use all of them now onto the army. The probes come back. Oh my god, and they're still not dead yet. They somehow survive this. The Lings will eventually be able to kill those off. But SHIN is going to be able to kill off the base, kill off a couple probes, trades out his army to do so. A lot of herO's army is still alive as he's blinking forward as well to try and kill off some of those retreating Hydralisks, and he will be able to do a good job of that. But the reinforce from SHIN is going to be the real threat.
Yeah, the War Prism went down as well, so herO has to remake that. Going to go into his +3 attack right now, so his unit's going to be doing a lot of damage. You can't lose a second Nexus to these Corruptors. The Warp In will save it. Going to pick off 2 of these in the retreat, and man, those probes were like the lemming probes, you know? They wanted to die, it looks like.
How is he losing only 5 probes in that entire exchange?
Know.
That is ridiculous. The Baneling was just like in between them. That was ridiculous.
But he did lose 2 Nexuses, so yeah, he's not, even though his probe count is high, he didn't lose all those probes. He's not actually been mining that much for the, you know, just recently. So SHIN going to probably take the income advantage for a moment. Still no Hive or anything like that on the way. Going to be getting his Overlord speed. These Lings see the War Prism on the left side of the map. So here's going to have some harassment potential of his own here.
Yeah, at least it was just the Nexuses dying, of course. Keeping the probes alive is great. So once these 2 Nexuses do finish up, he's going to basically be right back at the economy he was before. But it's a long time, of course, before these 2 buildings do finish up, and that War Prism does get scouted out, so the Hydras will be able to chase it down, so no attempt there for herO. Does see all these Banelings getting morphed as well, so that's a good piece of information to have. Needs to make sure he splits up his units accordingly, as the Mothership isn't quite out just yet, so that's going to be a big influence on how herO makes this defense.
Yeah, SHIN going to hit from 2 sides here, a large portion of the army on the top right of the map, and then a slightly smaller one in the bottom left, going to hit the 3rd and the 4th of herO at the same time, potentially, especially if he moves out. He is going for Hive now, starting to make that transition into some higher tier units. A couple Zealots will just get caught here, it looks like. This War Prism has to be careful, you don't want to lose this.
Yeah, it did almost run into those Hydralisks, so that's very nice to keep that alive. You need to keep the threat of the War Prism, so that way SHIN has something to keep him back on his side of the map. He doesn't want to go super, all in on the attack just right now, because he knows that there could be some aggression happening. He's just continuing to set himself up a little bit more, make sure he's fully maxed out before he goes for this attack. And now it looks like he's going to start to pull the trigger a little bit. The army on the right-hand side is moving closer to this exterior base. Is herO prepared?
Here come the storms. They're going to have to be big ones to zone out this Zerg army. I really like the herO send his Stalkers out to meet that army in the bottom left, so he doesn't, he kind of messes up the rhythm and timing of SHIN, who wants to send these in at the same time. Good force field, section off those Banelings, don't let them into the mineral line. herO right now defending pretty well.
That's an excellent defense out of herO. That was very well done. Perfect storms, perfect force fields. He took no economic damage whatsoever, retaining his 82 probe count and keeping both bases alive as well with a very robust looking army. herO has now kind of swung this game around just a little bit with that defense and is now having an opportunity where he could potentially walk across the map himself. He's splitting his army up, going onto 2 different sides, needs to make sure he doesn't spread himself a little bit too thin, of course. Protoss does work very well when everything is bunched up into that big old death ball, so You want to make sure he doesn't get caught out too far from the rest of his army.
Yeah, the War Prism goes down there. That hurts the reinforcement potential for herO. The Nexus also sniped by just a few units. The Bane's rolling in. Very quick pull by herO. He's so fast on these today. But the main armies are clashing as well in the middle of the map. The Stalkers all blink into the Zerg army. And is there actually enough firepower here for herO? The Archon's doing a lot of work. I mean, there's a big bank. There was a big bank on both sides. Huge reinforcements coming, but there's so many Immortals and Archons remaining here. herO's starting to push through. This hatchery may go down.
That is such a large army of Immortals and Archons, just a great backline. It seemed like the Stalker Blink was going to be a little bit too aggressive going into that huge amount of Zerglings. They died very quickly, but it body blocked for absolutely everything else, and that's where all the damage came from, those Archons and Immortals, with the Mothership staying alive above it as well. So ended up being a pretty decent trade, getting the base as well. herO, though, now without any storms, needs to just go purely with the gateway units and those Immortals. He might be able to do just that. There are a couple Overseers coming on in, so the Cloak is not going to do anything at this point, and so many Hydras are now coming in with the reinforcement and going to try to target down that Mothership, force it away, as the Banelings also now come on in to try and get some nice connections. The Mothership will go down, and everything is starting to peter out for just a moment. Both sides taking heavy losses.
Yeah, it's on a knife's edge right now. It's all going to come down to who can reinforce quicker. SHIN does not have that hatchery mining anymore, and without Storms in that army, the Hydras kind of run wild for a moment there. SHIN is now transitioned into Infestor Ultralisk, and as we've seen in some other games, Microbial Shroud Infestors, Ultralisk, are so strong against the range units of the Protoss if you can get a good engagement.
Yeah, that would be great if he can get those out. Just a couple Infestors coming out for now. Doesn't look like he's got any Ultras out on the field just yet. The space on the bottom side is going to get defended as well. herO definitely needs to keep this alive. He needs to send some more probes over here as his main base is dried out. His natural is going to be running out very soon as well. The Ultralisk upgrade is coming on in, so those are going to be coming onto the field once SHIN can actually get some economy going, because he of course did lose a little bit, but he still has got plenty of fresh bases, and a couple of Banelings look like they might try to get a connection into this probe line. But again, herO being very diligent with these pulls, even that High Templar staying alive with 1 HP. So still pretty decent defenses, 7 probes getting killed. It's unfortunate, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, when you're on 5 Nexus, you can remake those probes pretty quick. I'd say herO's defense has been excellent. These Bane's going to try and get on the High Templar. Sick morph there, so fast with it. And I mean, these Protoss units might be able to get this hatch. The drones are evacuated here. SHIN's actually sending his army around, not going to engage head on.
Yeah, he's going to go for a counterattack with these Zerglings, trying to find anything that he can, but still, herO's pretty close to this, so it's not like this is going to get too much damage. The Immortal pick would be nice, of course. You want to limit that as much as possible. That is a lot of DPS output, but these units are trapped, and now there's nothing here to be able to defend that, so those are going to get killed off. Even the probes, again, staying alive, being microed into that geyser to make sure the Lings can't do anything. So herO's doing a good job of keeping his economy going. He's only at 66 right now, which you might not think is, a lot, but he's only mining off of a couple bases, so he doesn't actually need more probes than that. He's basically mining at max capacity at this point. If he wants to get another base, then he might need a few more, but I think he's going to try to just go in with this army because it's still so large.
Yeah, Ultras are in the field now. This Lingron by hits that base. And there's just so many Immortals in this army. I don't think the Ultras can do anything. They get instantly popped there. And herO takes game number 1 in a very convincing fashion there. It was a struggle for a long time. A lot of back and forth, lots of harassment that could have gone one way or the other. I think herO's pro pulls were really quick. His defense was excellent. The Storms, the Force Fields. Very impressive, both defensive game and offensive game from herO. He was kind of playing all around well, I think.
Yeah, that was really well done. I mean, the strategy as well working out pretty good for him. The Adept Pressure, while it didn't kill an insane amount of drones, still forced a lot of Zerglings, and he killed a lot of those Zerglings as well. So he maintained the economy of SHIN, which is the overall goal. Even if you're not directly killing the drones, it still will give you a good advantage. So he was able to leverage that going into the mid game as well. He maybe stepped a little bit far forward with that one attack when he lost the mother. Did he lose? He did lose the Mothership, and just the storms and everything didn't exactly work out exactly how he wanted to. But the defense afterwards was still really good, and recovering from losing those 2 Nexuses.
Yeah, it's always risky to push without Storm, right? But yeah. I think he felt like he had enough momentum where he could make it work without them. And then he kind of lost the fight, and he's like, okay, no, let's just chill. Let's go home. Let's get some more Storms in my army. Let's get more Immortals for that Ultra transition. He was very prepared for that, by the way. Like, ulted his unit comp as he needed it. Yeah, great game number 1 there.
I really wonder if Shin should have even tried for the Ultras, knowing how many Immortals were on the field for the whole game. It felt like he never was able to actually kill any of them, and he saw how good they were already doing in the previous engagement that killed his third base. So yeah, I wonder if the Ultraless transition was even just not necessary, but yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Of course, it was a scrappy game. We're going to be going into Old Sun Temple for our next map. Let's see what we are going to have in store. Get this Gemini guy off the desk.
Just get those words out, man. It's a big old map here. So some greedier builds are on the table. If you want to pull some greedy build out, this may be the map to do it. We saw a Nexus first in PvP. You know, we've been seeing some interesting stuff. herO will be spawning in the top left, SHIN in the bottom right. I really do think that game could have looked very different if that big conga line of probes goes down to a couple Banes there. That was a wild moment.
Yeah, because like I was saying, even though the Nexuses both died, the probes stayed alive. So if you're able to just get the Nexuses up, then you'll be right back to that same economy. And so that's exactly what happened for herO. But if he loses 20 probes in that exchange, which he very easily could have with the way those Banelings were moving next to those probe stacks, there's a very good chance that you don't have the resources to make both Nexuses at the same time. You don't have the same economy that just suddenly comes back once the Nexuses are online. So definitely would have looked much different had those couple Banelings decided to actually attack, but unfortunately they were on move command. Didn't quite do anything.
Yeah, indeed. We have the gateway coming down first here for herO, no Nexus first shenanigans or anything like that. This map's, huge, obviously. I was going to say Shin would be able to get his hatchery down at his natural if he was going to go hatch first, if the scout goes the wrong way for herO, which it did. But he once again opts to go for the pull first, and then we'll be forced to take the hatch at the third base if this probe sticks around.
Yeah, herO's going to be very diligent with this one, realizing that he kind of got tricked last game. Wants to really make sure that Nexus, or sorry, that hatchery does actually go over to the third base, and he will be able to secure that time. So does deny this. Also going for that early Zealot yet again, and the pylon at the natural, just to really hammer home to make sure he really gets that down. Doesn't want to get duped. So we'll come in and see the Zergling's about to finish. Has that Zealot coming out as well. So he will be very well prepared.
Yeah, that actually delayed Shin's hatchery a lot there, by the way. He had like 140 minerals after he made the hatch, which shows it could have gone down much quicker. So slight win for herO in the early game, I would say. This Ling going to chase the probe home now, and he has some other Lings going across the map. There's going to be a Stalker on the way for herO, which should be able to kite just fine against 4 slow Lings or whatever it is. Oh, it's Diva.
Shin, I forgot he uses that announcer.
Oh my god, it's Diva.
Kick him out of the tournament. Get him out of here. We cannot have these types of people in here. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the Stalker first is interesting, as you will be able to chase some of these down. He did cancel the Zealot, realizing that the pool timing wasn't quite early enough, and of course with the cross spawn, those Lings are really going to take a long time, so he was able to cancel that to get his Nexus a little bit earlier and just make sure that Zealot is out of the picture. It just ruins your build if you have to get that so early, so doesn't do that. We'll just send the Stalker right across the map, being very aggressive with this, trying to deny a third base that could potentially be getting thrown down. Very curious what the whole rationale is with this, because of course I feel like you could still do the same with an Adept, so I wonder why it was a Stalker that he's using for this, but anyways, it's a very interesting little early game interaction here.
Yeah, normally you think of getting a Stalker first to, stop the Overlord from diving in your Bane, to hide some tech, that kind of thing. But here's like, no, you can actually use this like the Adept and go put it at their third base. And it's pretty annoying to deal with, especially before Ling Speed finishes. herO obviously knows that timing. And here we go, micro challenge, 1 Stalker versus about 8 Lings. How many are going to get? Oh, he's chicken, he's driving. Oh, he's going to get it.
Oh my god, that's sick.
That's a slippery Stalker there.
That's awesome. He really needs to get on home, though, because the speed's going to be finishing up, so doesn't want to lose this one. We'll actually pair it up with the 2 Adepts. Now, this actually has some potential for some interesting damage. Those Zerglings can't just freely surround these 3 sets of units, so it needs to be a little careful. Even though speed is about to finish, herO still wants to be a little bit aggressive with this push.
Yeah, I guess a creep tumor there. Very nice pick off. Another one would be great as well. The Lings will engage here, but the Adepts are going into the main, I believe, so they kind of leave the Stalker for dead. But what damage can they get done? 2 drones fall instantly. The drones, a lot of mining time lost here as they all were pulled off the line. And they go down to the nat, try to get in between these minerals, take as many Lings out as they can with them, but they will eventually go down.
Yeah, interesting interaction. Of course, hero's going to lose all of those units for that damage. It wasn't insane damage by any means, but you can see the probe count is extremely in his favor after all of this. A lot of Zerglings were used and made to be able to defend against this, and another round of them were made after the fact as well by SHIN to try and pressure this third base, but an Adept and an Oracle is already here, so I highly doubt he's going to have any success at this third base. So yeah, I mean, herO is coming away with this with flying colors, I feel like.
Yeah, huge win for him there. He takes the work lead for a long time. Normally the Zerg overtakes around 40-ish. In the new patch, we're not exactly sure of the exact number now, but making that many Lings and not being able to do anything with them is always bad for the Zerg, as those could have been drones. So herO will get his third base up with the aid of that Oracle. More drones kind of running around here, going to be escorted by the Queens to the natural. You obviously send them with the Queens, so the Oracles can pick them off en route. I guess SHIN does have map control for now. You can't send the units out for the moment except the Oracles. Here we're going to be going into Twilight and very early Forge. Once again, going for the one Phoenix.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, was that the second Phoenix? What was that, the third base? Was that the Oracle?
I think that should be the only Phoenix, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 3 Oracles and then the 1 Phoenix to clear out Overlords, which is interesting because you really don't see that ever. I feel like it's very rare that you go for just a single Phoenix to clear everything out. Double Oracle going to find its way into the natural, get 2 drones and a couple in the main base as well, just 1 actually. Might try to dive in again if he wants to. Goes for a Stasis Ward, and SHIN is well prepared against that, so paying attention, doesn't lose anything there. Okay, I thought he was going to go for that one too, but no. herO, you never know. You never
doing, just offering himself up to the Oracles.
Take me!
Leave him alone. Take me instead.
To be on this map.
Very brave drone. Okay, it's going to be a fast Templar Archives here. Charge on the way as well as +1. So Charge on Archon on the menu here for herO, if he wants to go into that.
Yeah, could just rush out Storm really quickly as well.
Yeah.
Both things totally viable from him, depending on how aggressive he wants to be. He's getting the double gas already at the third base as well, so might be more towards the Storm avenue, but we'll see exactly what he wants, of course, as he does warp in the couple High Templar right away, so he might just go for those Archons, like you were mentioning. Could still walk across the map, as he's got a pretty large army overall. He's got a lot of units out right now. There's a lot of units getting pumped out from those gateways with the added warp gate buff onto them as well. He was doing getting a couple of rounds of Zealots from there. I think he might have transitioned them to the warp gates at this point. And he is walking across the map now from with some of these units.
You're going to add in the Mothership again, most likely. And it looks like most of his gateways have not become warp gates from what I could just see there in the main. So getting that production speed buff, can be able to make a lot of Zealots very quickly. Hitting this fourth base, but there's so many Lings here. They cannot engage into these Oracles, though. They're going to zap them down as long as they don't hit the hatchery. This is a pretty messy fight. Some Roaches coming over, some Queens as well to help out with the anti-air. But this hatchery will fall. Not even cancelled.
Wow, what a great win from herO, being able to kill that off, and all the Zerglings as well, keeping all 3 Oracles alive. That's an excellent trade, and one that I think was pretty unexpected from SHIN. That's a really random amount of units. Just it was like 8 Zealots and the 3 Oracles, and they end up killing all of that. That's a great situation coming out for herO.
Yes, hey, do you know about this time-in with, with these 8
Don't you know the 6 Zealot, 3 Oracle timing against your 4th base at 8 minutes in the game?
That's what makes herO so difficult to play against. He doesn't just do it like cookie cutter, He'll do his own things, hit his own time-ins with interesting amounts of units. This one Adept will get caught at the Watchtower. The Oracle's not quite paying attention and turning on their beams there. He's got a lot of Archons at home, though, and Zealots, so these Zerglings cannot engage into this. And herO getting his 4th base already, but 12 mutas in production here.
If herO sniffs this out right now, he could just send it across the map, and I think SHIN would have a really hard time being able to defend what herO's got right now. It's going to be up to SHIN to kind of distract herO right now, as he's kind of doing that with the Zerglings on the map, and you can see that herO's not really wanting to go across just yet. Knowing that he already did some good damage at that 4th base, doesn't feel like he needs to walk across right now, but seeing the Mutalisks coming out, and there's a lot of them as well, that might start to trigger him, and yeah, he's just sending it right now with everything, wants to put the aggression back on the Zerg, because once those Mutas are out, that's a lot of units that are not good in a straight-up engagement, so the ground army from SHIN is going to be very weak at this current moment.
Very true, and behind this he's going into Phoenixes and Phoenix range, so that's going to be his answer to these mutas eventually, along with the Mothership when that pops. He's going to rely on those to deal with this. Some probes will fall, of course, but he instantly takes out this hatchery. Going to move to the 3rd base, And this looks like we might be having the first big fight here. Loads of roaches in production for SHIN. Going to try and make a stand at the natural or third base in between here. Getting ready to pull the trigger. herO moves in. We might end up with loads of workers falling on both sides right now. SHIN a little bit hesitant, doesn't want to go in just yet, but hero's going to get a very good position here behind the mineral lines and in these chokes.
He's really trying to fish down this army because, of course, SHIN is just trying to wait for as many units as possible. And you can see the engagement. Once it starts, everything does start to melt from the Zerg side, trying to utilize these roaches in these choke points to make the Zealots as weak as possible so they cannot get good connections, and also make it so that way the Immortals cannot quite get on top of them either. For now, it looked like the engagement was going to go pretty okay as all the Zealots do get cleared out, but 20 drones getting killed off during all this. I feel like, yeah, okay, a recall would be perfect from herO, knowing he got so much damage done. He lost a lot of probes himself, but dealing that damage is very good. But now, of course, the mutas are going to still have some potential value. Let's see how well herO can defend them coming up.
Yeah, he can get a lot more work kills if he's able to get into an undefended line. And there's a cannon at the front here, but nothing at the back. So these mutas go to town on the work line. But here come the Phoenix and the Blink Stalkers and the Mothership. Suddenly catch these mutas by surprise. A lot of these will fall in the retreat. SHIN trying to dart in and out with the mutas, try to make the Phoenixes overcommit, but there's no hope anymore. And herO takes game number 2 as well.
Yeah, I love that. So super decisive from herO, knowing that the mutas spawned and just instantly sending everything across the map, knowing that general weakness. That's kind of always been how this works in PvZ. If you can scout the mutas coming, or if you see them immediately, you want to just send it across the map.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to defend because you're using all of your larvae for those mutas, and they're not going to be able to attack your army. They're only going to be used on the counterattack, of course, to kill as many probes as possible. So if you can get in the Zerg's face before they're able to do that damage, then you have the chance to make the game crazy and more into your favor. But if you let the mutas just kind of do their thing and pull you around, that's when the Zerg gets what they want.
Yeah, the worst thing is you're just sitting at home and they show up in a mineral line suddenly and you're not ready. And also you don't have a lot of warp gates, so you can't suddenly warp in 8 Stalkers to help deal with them. So yeah, excellent game by herO, excellent series. He will take the win there. SHIN gonna fall down to play Trap in the losers match. The winners match will be herO versus Classic. So far the 2 strongest Protoss, looking pretty good here in group number C. We already had Rogue and Solar come out of Group B, and Serral and Bjorn out of Group A. It looks like it's time to add a Protoss, Gemini.
Yes, and
at least one.
We might be adding 2 today, which would basically be perfect, actually, because we definitely need some more Protosses in the round of 8 if we want everything to be nice and equal.
I missed Group D. I forgot we switched the order. Clem and Lambo also advanced from Group D
I wasn't
yesterday.
paying attention to what you said, by the way. I completely tuned out.
That's fine.
Yeah. Anyways, Tasteless Threads is our merch shop. Go ahead and check it on out. 20% discount if you are a Patreon supporter. You can get all types of stuff over there. RSL things, gamer things, Tastosis' realistic face things as well. Get them on a shirt. It looks very nice. You can be the talk of the party if you wear that one.
It might not be good talk. It might be,
we don't know what kind of talk it'll be, but you will be talked about.
People will be talking about you
Absolutely.
for sure.
All right, we're going to go to a short break, everyone. More RSL coming on up.
Oh, that's a good way to start. A little cough right in their ears. Welcome back to the RSL. We're going to be going on to the winners match here. A little PvP for you coming up.
Yeah, basically the highest level PvP you can get. herO and Classic.
Yes.
Both monsters in this matchup and in general. I'm still kind of learning about PvP. I've been talking to Gemini a little bit. He's been filling me in on the matchup. But we'll see how it goes, what both these players are going for in this matchup. Super excited. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hopping into this one. I think you're probably right. There's probably not a better PvP than we could ask for than these 2 guys. I mean, these are basically these guys win all the RSLs.
Yeah.
Look like literally. I mean, there's max packs at one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this has been like a completely Protoss dominated StarCraft League, which is crazy. We'll see if it's going to happen this time. I think it's maybe going to be a little bit tougher with Serral here and the patch changing the game. But I'm curious because I think when we put these 2 together, we're going to really explore what PvP is supposed to look like, and we'll see if they got it nailed down or not. It's going to impact, by the way, how a lot of PvPs are going to be played everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of Protosses will be watching this to kind of see how the matchup's supposed to be played. You have Classic, kind of, a very good defensive Protoss, and you have herO, often the more aggressive. So kind of 2 different styles that, you can look at here. both sides of the coin. Here's our overview of the groups. Classic and herO in the winners match. They both won their first game. Trap and SHIN will be in the losers match after this. They both lost their first game of the day in Group C.
Yeah, it's but by the way, we had to do Group D yesterday. We had some scheduling conflicts, so we're doing Group C here on the final day. And we'll see what's going to happen with Trap versus SHIN, which is going to be coming up in a little bit here. Trap is, as legendary as he is, I think he's just not in the same kind of shape as he was before. So I think SHIN should be taking that. But I do think that we're going to I think the highlight of the day probably is going to be this one that's coming up here. Yeah,
this should be a great game. Like you said, Trap's just coming back to playing StarCraft again recently. He played the tournament in China. I think he was very active on the PTR when the patches first started dropping. So he's been playing for a little bit, but maybe not enough to get back into that top shape where you're going to take on the likes of herO and Classic and SHIN as well. So yeah, we'll see how we can do in the ZVP matchup. Here are the maps. The map pool, we had Old Republic, Missing You Today, and 10,000 Feet voted out by our Patreon supporters. And Old Sun Temple, Fear and Faith, 2 4-player maps voted in, as well as Voidstorm.
Yeah. So, I think you guys have been killing it, by the way, Patreon supporters here with voting on the maps. I think, I love GSL, but I do think GSL historically has been a little bit too conservative. And I think it's fine to have some maps that are kind of formulaic, and I think there is, we have a decent kind of boilerplate idea of what a StarCraft 2 map is supposed to be. There was a period in ASL where I'm like, okay, these maps have completely gone insane. You know what I mean? It was a couple seasons where I'm like, I don't know, guys. I bet we have one crazy idea instead of 7. But I think that our community's done a good job with voting these maps in here. And, this is really the blessing of RTS games, is that we have so many different maps.
Yeah.
It makes me think back I remember when I was a kid. So I guess when I first played StarCraft, I think I was 14 or something like that.
Right.
But I remember I only played on BGH, right? And then eventually I found out that there were these tournaments, but they don't play on the money maps, right? And then I was like, oh, they're playing on Lost Temple. And then I remember eventually looking at the tournaments more and being like, they play on different maps every time. How am I ever going to learn this game? But
I can't just do the same build on every map.
Just siege tank drop on the high ground on Lost Temple. But the reality is the maps are what make the game so exciting, right? You have all these different kind of play styles. You get to learn about how the races function in different ways with the different maps. And we can actually crank out maps, I think, faster than is basically any game. Is this correct?
When StarCraft 2?
Yeah.
I mean they come out pretty quick. Yeah. There's always, the map contests being held and new maps coming out. Turnover rate seems pretty quick. I don't know how long it takes to make a map exactly, but it feels like there's always fresh ones popping up. Yeah. And we always have new exciting maps in the RSL, which is so good for me. I mean, we have the kind of 5 or 6 more standard ones, standard layouts. Then we get a few crazy ones voted in. Evil Heart was voted in, that very aggressive map.
Right.
Now we have some 3 very big maps. It just brings a lot of variety and opens up the kind of strategic playbook to give more possibilities to the players.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting for us as, viewers and fans of the game to see the players get to be a bit more creative and show some different styles.
Yeah, it's nice. And, it's what makes, the game so exciting and gives it such a kind of flavor and a spice to it. I think we're going to be going to this game. We've had a little bit of downtime. I think the map vetoes were taking a little bit longer than expected here. But when we go into this, we will be deciding who will be moving on to one of the final 2 spots here remaining in the group stages for RSL.
Yeah, and don't forget, this is the last group of the group stage. We already did Group D yesterday. We'll switch around. So that means the draw will be after the broadcast today.
Yeah.
For the playoffs. We'll be choosing the place.
I was like, wait, oh yeah, that's right.
You looked at me.
I was like, what? Yeah. Do stick around for that. It's going to be interesting to see where the brackets kind of have the players end up. Mm-hmm. And again, the winner of this is going to be going, the 2 finalists, I should say, of our tournament are going to be going on to BlizzCon to play on the big stage.
Yeah, the draw is super important for that. I mean, a lot of the players, you don't want to get SARL, Clem, or herO in the next round, potentially. Right. There's a lot of scary players, even for these top players to go up against. We do now have the vetoes finalized. It's going to be Fear and Faith, Ruby Rock, and then Eternity's Edge for set 3 if we get to a final game. Yeah, and it looks like we're almost ready to go here. Classic versus herO. Classic winning a ton of RSLs, in our first year here, but herO kind of cleaning up in the later part there, winning our offline event and winning
Season 5 we had, the most recent RSL that wrapped up here. So we're going to see these two go head-to-head. The two most decorated and accomplished players in RSL history.
Oh my God, what gamers. And here they are. In the top left, it is Classic. In the top right, it is herO. These are the closest spawns you could get here. No cross spawn this game. We did see a Nexus first in the Trap versus Classic series, which I did not know was a thing on this patch. I mean, I guess you can get away with it on one of these larger maps. This map does have the tubes, though, so you can send a worker through there.
It's got the little hamster tubes.
Yeah.
The probe's can run through.
I saw a Void Ray kill a worker through that today.
I was actually
and I was thinking that is so wrong.
Yeah,
like,
it should not be able to shoot through the glass.
Yeah, then
it should actually, the laser should reflect off the glass and hit
kill
the Void Ray.
Yeah. It's like the new meta, hide in the tubes when the Void Ray's hitting you.
Baiting them into attacking your probe only to have their Void Ray get shot down.
That's so funny.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I saw that earlier and it really bothered me.
Yeah,
I was like,
my immersion was broke.
Yeah.
Or the whole tubes to just, smash, like scatter. All the glass flies everywhere.
Just heat up and actually cook the probe inside of it.
That's a bad way to go.
That's a rough way. Yeah, it's kind of faces of death demise for that probe there.
Final destination stuff.
Yeah, right. So in this game, we should point out, first of all, this is a map with more than two spawn locations, right? Which, these were like almost non-existent in StarCraft 2 for a while, but I think it's good, especially with a worker change. I think it's good to kind of try these out more and more and see what it does. I understand, some people have said that when you have 12 workers, well, the game's going so fast, you need to kind of figure out. You should know where they are, and you shouldn't be having to. You can have developing too fast. You might have made the wrong choice based off positions. But I don't know. I think it's good. I think it makes for some variety, and I welcome it.
Yeah, me too. I like it. And the thing is, if it doesn't work, like if the map doesn't work well, the Patreon members can vote it out into the next season.
That's right.
Bring something in new. See, this game we do have a 1-gate expand, I believe, for both our players here. Going to be going into the cores afterwards. And it's actually quite a short rush distance from one natural to the other with these spawns. So I'm curious how easy or difficult it's going to be to get a third base down, as herO will now come in and scout Classic. Classic's probe a little bit further away from herO's base, but he will be able to get that Nexus scout in the near future here as it goes up the ramp.
So the probe's going to come in here with a little scout, and it's not going to be, I think, a very eventful early game. I mean, both sides are just basically getting this expansion. We have a Stargate here. This probe, it should be able to just glide over to the left here and see this. And yeah, it does spot it. And both sides are going to go for Stargate. Now, keep in mind, they've both scouted each other, but the Stargate's part of the wall here, so he hasn't seen that yet. But I assume he'll probably spot that. But if you know, they're both in the know that they're going Stargate, so this is interesting. Does this kind of force a Phoenix arms race game, which can happen a lot in PvP?
Yeah, I mean, it could be for sure. If you make an Oracle and your opponent makes a Phoenix and you send the Oracle out, you can just lose it, and that's a huge loss for you. So I'll have to see what unit choices they want to make here. Both of them have an Adept or two. Stalker on the way for herO as well. And I would be surprised if we just saw like nothing but Oracles from one side. herO's going to go for one Oracle first. Classic opting for the Phoenix. So now it's all about, can you get, like, if you want to use this Oracle aggressively, you have to be very sneaky with it. You can't just send it in a beeline to the minerals, or the Phoenix is going to catch it, probably. So maybe you save it for later, keep it in the airspace, or something like that. Both these workers going to go through the
high-speed hamster chase here in the tubes.
Oh, man.
Now, it would seem to me, if you're going to move across the map, oh no, now my immersion's really going to be ruined. Is he going to pick it up?
Just shift through the glass.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, now it seems to me if you're both going for Phoenixes, you would not want to be the one that goes across the map and attacks first, right? They're just going to have one more Phoenix than you.
Right. It's so funny that you can just hang out in the tube, by the way. Like, it doesn't make you go all the way to the end. You could just stay there and then come back in for a follow-up scout. Very smart here by Classic. I think he sees the Phoenix come out there. He sees nothing's being produced right now. I guess he wants to kill the probe before he starts up another unit there. This Oracle is kind of hanging out under this sign, like a bit of a weird spot.
It's covert Oracle. It's landed, actually.
It's on the roof there, just hanging out.
Man, you can really hide behind that building. I didn't appreciate just how truly like 3D that is.
herO knows this map
an Ultra Skinner there.
Look at all the Oracles you can get in this bad boy.
How many Oracles can you hide under that building? That's crazy. Okay, well, we've got a lot of movement now on the map. It looks like we have Classic kind of coming up here. He wants to basically pick off the probe that would be lurking in that tube.
Yep. herO going to go for his third base as well, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no.
Throwing that down.
Yeah, 3 bases right away here. And we're going to have Classic come in. Now, interestingly, they both stopped. Maybe I was a little bit too deterministic about how this game was going to go. I thought that they would both be forced to kind of keep making Phoenixes, but...
Oh, that's a huge stasis!
Oh my God!
Gets the whole mineral line while he was distracted.
That stasis froze probes in other games that are happening on Battle.net right now. I can't believe that. That's the greatest stasis I've ever casted.
That's the goat stasis.
That's it.
Oh my God, the goat stasis there.
Oh my
Look at
God!
them. Can we see the income advantage graph? Because that must be heavily in Classic's favor here with all those probes.
Oh
my
it's disguised
God.
900 minerals! That's insane! That's more than 2 Nexuses. It's 3 command centers if you count it right.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
He could have made 3 CCs with all that money.
That's crazy, yeah. And think of how many more mules he could have landed if he had made those CCs.
This was a different matchup.
Oh my God! That was insane.
Yeah, I mean that's the dream stasis right there. It does not get any better than that. And yeah, both players are going into Blink now. herO's is earlier. He also has +1 on the way. So he may have a small time. It is a very small time where he'll have Blink and Classic does not. But sometimes these games can come down to those moments where you have Blink for 5 seconds, your opponent doesn't. Not sure if that will be the case or not. The Oracle of herO is still alive. Wants to try and get some damage of his own.
Ooh!
But will actually fall there.
Yeah, that was revenge for all those probes. Yeah, Classic expanding kind of towards his opponent here. We've got the Glaives started here. Oh, I'm sorry, they're both going to go for Glaives.
And this is interesting because they just buffed the scalability of the Glaives.
Right.
Instead of +1, they get +2 per attack upgrade now. So they do scale a bit better into the mid and late game. And we've seen adepts using this matchup before, like these immortal adept timings. So maybe that change has forced these players to, not force, but encourage them to go into heavy adepts here. Right now, the Stalker's at the natural of herO, not able to pick anything off. Just going to blink away for now. And it's quite weird to go this Stalker heavy and then switch into adepts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, previously in other iterations of StarCraft 2, it always felt like the Glaives was like, okay, I'm going to try to end this game very quickly. Right. I'm not here for the long run. I want to get in and get out. But yeah, I mean, Glaives, I think is going to be more of a core upgrade in PvP. By the way, Snipe on the Sentry. Looks like a probe actually triggered a kind of booby trap back there to freeze some of those Stalkers. Good thing he actually did that. We've got, right now, herO kind of chasing Classic down. He does take off a couple of Stalkers. And we're going to go into a pretty heavy macro game from here. I mean, both players are going to get their third bases up. And by the way, I don't know what it is about me. Like, I see a lot of other big macro game PvPs. I don't get to cast a lot of them.
Yes.
A lot of PvPs I cast seem to be short.
On the old patch, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it was, proxy robos, proxy stargaze. Yeah. The games would end super quick. 1 gate expands were pretty rare. Basically, only Max Packs was going for all the time.
Right.
But,
he was the only guy that seems to be able to defend everything totally perfectly.
Right.
Okay, so we've got the probe coming up here, and they're basically going to be right next to each other. I mean, they're both kind of filling in the expansions adjacent to 12 o'clock on left and right side. So, it's going to be hard to not just kind of sit and occupy the spot. I don't think it's easy to attack across either, just because you're not able to fit as much of your stuff, kind of moving around whatever this spherical thing is over here in the middle of the map. Well, hold that thought, actually. herO is going to try to push in.
Yeah, sorry, did Classic finish Glaives? Because he's making nothing but Stalkers here. We see herO's going into the Glaives. He actually finished Glaives, but he's made nothing but Stalkers.
It is weird.
I'm a bit confused by this.
He has an upgrade that I see 1 unit on screen for.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, here come the Adepts of herO, though. He has been making Adepts behind this, maybe trying to make it look like a
That's the thing about herO, man. He makes the units that he made the upgrades for. He's crazy.
He's wild like that.
So, I mean, let's see. He's going to attack in here. He's going to be able to get probably a pretty comfortable surface area here with the Adepts as it is. This is actually...
Oh my god, that's stasis!
What is going on with the stasises today?
All the Adept shade on top of a stasis. They're all out of action here. How many are going to fall in the retreat? That was absolutely insane.
Crazy. I didn't even see the stasis was there until they actually hit him.
Neither did I. Neither did herO. And he's going to have to try and fight to get them out. You can't just lose these all for free. He tried it again.
The stasis Adepts are like making their own constellation. Like that was the Big Dipper, I think, that I saw in the shape of the stasis. Well, now I think herO's just going to win the game.
Yeah.
So stasis didn't matter. It only delayed the inevitable.
He does have the upgrade advantage, which is worth pointing out. So his Adepts do a lot more damage in this fight, and he's just going to crash through, blinks onto the probes, and herO takes game number 1. What a wild game.
Crazy stasis is there.
I can't believe the first one got every single probe, and then I can't believe all the Adepts. Like, it's difficult to get that many Adepts to actually shade onto a stasis. Like, it might be like half or something. It was all of them.
Usually we see like a stasis get like, let's say it gets like 6 stalkers. We're like, oh, this game's over.
Yeah.
That was absurd. Really, really weird that we saw the Glaives upgrade go for Classic and then he didn't make Adepts. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he just thought he needed to keep making Stalkers to not die to herO's pressure. Or maybe, I actually don't know. Like, I mean, this is a new patch. We just got the change to the Adepts and everything.
Yeah.
That was very weird to me.
Yeah, it was odd. It was, you know...
like, you make Glaives, but you don't make Adepts.
Well, you know, when you see someone making Glaives, in my caster brain, I think, I'm going to see a lot of Adepts coming up here.
It makes sense,
In fact, he might only be making Adepts out of the gateways around when that finishes. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. We don't really see that ever. So,
right.
I don't know. I got more questions than answers for that one. But herO has a 1-0 lead now. So, if he wins one more, he's going to be moving on, leaving only one spot remaining here for our 3 remaining players in Group C.
Yeah, I like the way all of his Adepts got stasis, but that was actually where they want to be anyway. So when they come out of the stasis, he just takes the fights and wins it anyway. It was like a very weird moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something else. Yeah. Again, that stasis on the probes, man. There were like probes on each of the gases that were like not mining. I'm like, is this literally like the most perfectly placed stasis of all time? Okay, so into our game here. herO in the bottom right, Classic in the top left. Very, very different map to start this off, and it should lead to a very, very different looking PvP.
Yeah, I get a feeling we'll see more of what the normal meta is on this map, you know. It's a 2-player map for starters. You're not going to be late scouting your opponent or anything like that. And worth pointing out, if herO wins this game, he advances through the group. Classic will, of course, have to play one more series if he does not win. And then if Classic wins, we'll have Game 3 to see who gets out. Both players are going to get their gateways here on the high ground. And yeah, I wonder if we'll see, you know, more Adepts in this matchup now, because the Immortal Adept builds used to look really strong to me when they got used in like the right situation.
Right.
But with that extra scalability, maybe it becomes a bit more common, or maybe Blink is just still better. Maybe it depends on the situation. We'll kind of see as these... I think the Protoss players are still figuring it out as well.
Right.
It's a very new meta right now.
Okay, so we've got the first scout coming out here. herO's going to go up into the main C. It is a 2-gate versus a 2-gate. Later scout here for Classic. Moving across the map now. And, yeah, I mean, this should be a little bit more of an explosive... Or I should say it at least has the option of being a little bit more of an explosive PvP. We could end up in a situation where one guy's expanding, the other guy is going to be trying to attack or all in or something like that.
Yeah, I think you can go for a 2-gate expand on this patch, and then the super aggressive option is like a 3-gate all-in. I think you can support units off of 4 gateways, Gemini was telling me, so if we see another gateway here, that might be some signs of big aggression from these guys, as the cores will be finishing up soon, and we'll see what the first units of choice are.
Okay, the cybernetics core is done. What is the tech going to be? We've got 2 Adepts now. No definitive tech laid out, although that is going to be coming here in a second.
Yeah, 2 Adepts on both sides. Very interesting here. Both players will have to, you know, keep an eye on this wall, make sure you have a probe there ready to throw down a building. This shield battery actually traps the probe in the main. Pylon on the low ground for Classic. Maybe considering an expansion in the near future here.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely going to be setting up for one. And, you know, that is scouted, by the way, so that could, you know, telegraphing that you intend to expand here. That may, you know, impact herO's decision-making for how he wants to play this out. Although we have, you know, Adepts coming across the map. And by the way, we haven't had the Nexus start yet. So, you know, maybe there's a little bit of mind games there. Instead, he's going to get a Stargate.
Yeah.
And it's going to be herO expanding. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but maybe there is something there. Oh, what? Wait,
he
what?
catches it and remakes it?
But it wasn't misplaced, right?
I didn't notice that it was misplaced. That was very odd. I'd have to see that again. I didn't, like, when it was put down, I didn't think, oh, that's a hex off or anything like that. But
yeah.
He does cancel and remake it for some reason. Maybe just a mistake. Maybe it was misplaced. I'm not sure.
For those of you guys, you know, that aren't, like, hardcore to StarCraft, that's, like, one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah.
Is, like, cancel a command center or Nexus or hatchery. It's, like, at the start of a game.
Yeah, especially the first one you make is so expensive in the early game.
Yeah. It always makes me think of that. This was like a Brood War tournament where Idra accidentally canceled his command center in a tournament match and just left the game. It was like so. I think it was like the final game of TSL. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, no way.
But yeah, he actually grabbed the command center instead of the CV and hit escape and he just left the game. And it was like, all right, that's a wrap.
That is the worst way to go out.
Yeah.
Right now we have this little mini game of the Adepts just continuously trying to shade in. Oh, herOs actually do get into the main. There's an Oracle waiting for them. So it's all about how many probes can they get before they die. Maybe a fifth. Okay, just going to be 4 probes for herO. I mean, that's nice. It gives him a 3-probe lead for the moment. Oh, and now it's now it's Classic's turn to get his Adepts in. Okay, not going to commit to the shade. Oh, there was a lot of units there, actually.
Yeah, he was actually kind of laying in wait to get the kill on that. So he's going to see this now. Actually,
it's a trap.
Oh, yeah, don't do it. So we've got a Warp Prism. This is an exciting Sentry chase against an Adept. This is my kind of StarCraft 2 match right here.
Yeah.
So we're going to see herO attack across the map. We have to have Classic defend this or the game will end. And I'm worried. He's doing like a lot of counterattack play. Oh, my God.
Oh, 2 get blocked, but 2 did not. Will he actually commit to this? He will. He's attacking a Stalker, though. You've got to hit the probes here.
There's a lot of misplays happening all over the place.
Yeah, this game's already getting very messy and wild, it feels like.
This is a little, definitely a messy, crazy game here. Okay, so the Warp Prism's going to get up here. He's going to do one more warping round and then try to hit. Classic's going to have a hard time multitasking here. Oh, my God. Oh, man.
No shield battery or anything in this mineral line. There's a few Stalkers, but the Oracle DPS is just insane. Takes out 11 probes instantly. The Adept gets in as well, going to add another one, but this army is knocking on Classic's doorstep. Is there enough to defend here?
Ooh, actually, there might not be. You know, he's going to get a lot of extra damage. Remember, you can literally physically dodge Stalker shots. Like, the little laser has to actually hit the target.
Yeah, and he has the Warp Prism as well, which adds so much micro potential.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can actually, you know, eke out insane amounts of damage with this. Now, he might just end up killing the Nexus, but keep in mind, herO's at 15 probes to Classic's 25. So, like, herO... I mean, look, if he kills the Nexus, I was going to say earlier, like, oh, herO basically has to win the game with this. I think the game could go on, and he could kind of slow play it and maybe win from there.
Yeah, even though Classic has more probes, he can't actually mine with them, and he's very supply blocked right now, 42 over 29. If he gets another pylon, that would be insane. Nice force field sections off that one Stalker there. Blink is just finished, so he couldn't save it, but now it is available, so he has a lot of micro potential of his own. Does herO just go home now and try to, you know, probe up, or does he keep pushing here, is the question.
Well, I mean, right now, Classic is kind of the one that has to do something. He is remaking probes, so you can tell, I think that is kind of a nod, like, I'm not going to commit to trying to end this. I think he's got a substantial lead as long as he can populate his expansion with workers. And he's going to basically set up an Adept. I think it's Adepts in there, right? Yeah, it's 2 Adepts. So the idea is, like, by the way, 2 Adepts are, like, maybe the most pivotal thing in a PvP early game because you can basically just kill, you know, so many workers with them.
Yeah, 2 Adepts get so much kind of bang for their buck in terms of work kills. Stasis on all of these sentries, by the way.
Oh, this is
and the
wild.
army of Classics coming over. He might be able to catch these.
This is actually, like, such a big catch.
But the army of herO is here, so he can go out and try to fight this. There's only like 6 Stalkers in this army, as well as the Oracle, which is going round to the main, it looks like. Okay, he's going to try and save the sentries. They do get away.
Oh, that actually went much better than I thought it was going to. So he only got one.
Yeah, and he had Stalkers in the main to deal with the Oracle.
Guardian Shield's massive in a fight like this, so I mean, having that is huge. There's 2 Immortals out here. I don't know that Classic can make this work.
No, I mean, with 2 Immortals, there's just not enough firepower, and
GG.
Classic knows it. GG.
You could just have 2 Immortals and not have that army and probably like,
you'd probably be fine.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that was a lot shorter than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, PvPs
series
are always short, but
yeah,
when you have expansions, the game we're used to kind of extend for a long time. You get a 3rd base, you get a 4th base, get big blink armies and stuff, but this was one of the messiest games with so much going on.
A lot of misclicking. We had a Nexus canceled.
Right.
Was it misplaced? I don't know.
I don't know.
It was misplaced?
Oh, it was, okay, Gemini said it was misplaced.
Somebody give me a thumbs up. I'm like, does that mean it was misplaced or not? What is that supposed to mean?
Was it misplaced?
We all know that Nexus...
This is misplaced. This is placed correctly, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
This is like, I don't know.
I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
herO survived, so we've only got 1 spot remaining here in the group section, or the bracket section here for RSL.
Yeah, indeed. Only 1 more player can advance. The next series will be SHIN versus Trap, and the winner of that will go on to play Classic in the final game.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. It'll probably be SHIN.
Yeah.
If Trap wins, it's a big upset. I mean, Trap's just not as active right now. Yeah. What do we plug in? YouTube. You've probably heard about it before. We need to grow this, guys. And the only true way to revive SC2 right now, this is StarCraft 2. It's going, it's dying, right? We need to revive it, but the only way to do that is to subscribe to the YouTube.
Only way. The airway is blocked.
You know what's going to happen if we get enough subscribers? You ever seen those movies where like the main character cries over their dead friend? They go, and then the tears touch the dead body, and then the body comes back to life? That's StarCraft 2. Opens its eyes. StarCraft 2, you're alive! You're alive! I thought you were gone. We need to have what the silver thing? How many subscribers do you need to get a silver?
100,000.
100,000.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We don't have it.
We got a ways to go.
We don't have it, but when we get it, we're gonna hang it right here. Once Protoss wins 1 more RSL, I'm gonna go, God damn it, and punch the hole in the wall, and we'll hang it right from there.
Cover the hole, yeah.
They cover that hole.
Yeah, perfect plan.
Yes. So do subscribe to our YouTube. We are actually growing it pretty quickly, though, I will say.
Yeah.
We were like at 10,000, like the start of the year, and like I think we're almost at 15,000, so that's pretty good. But not good enough. I don't know how to be happy. We'll be right back, guys, after the short break and continue on with the RSL.
Never enough.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going into the elimination match. It's going to be SHIN versus Trap, another PvZ here to see who's going to be the first one out of Group Z.
Yeah, the loser of this goes home. The winner moves on to play Classic for our final player who can make it to the playoffs. And what a bracket we're going to have, by the way.
Yep.
It is super stacked.
Mm-hmm. It is super stacked, and it's pretty super sick, I would say. So yeah, really good. No matter who comes out of this group, I would say every single player is going to be extremely top tier to have in our playoffs, so it would be really great. I personally, of course, would really love it if a certain player got through. So yeah, we'll see if Trap is able to bring some of his old form back. He looked a bit shaky in the first series that he played today. Classic kind of bopped him a little bit. So we'll see what he's got in store for this PvZ. SHIN is someone who he has had extreme success against when he was having his big spike in the 2020-2021 era. He had an extremely good win rate against him, but that was quite a long time ago. So yeah, we'll see what how everything is going in this new patch version, and of course with Trap being a bit rusty, I should say.
Yeah, Trap's a bit rusty, and also SHIN has gotten a lot better over the years. He used to be, obviously a top player, but not at the level of some of the other players in the RSL. Now he's like one of the best Zergers in Korea. Up there, maybe just behind Rogue with Darkhead the military, but he's become a top Zerg. Leveled up so much in the last year or two, so should be a good match. Hopefully Trap can, bring some good games here and keep it competitive. That's kind of what I'm looking for. As the first map will be on Old Sun Temple.
Yeah, we got one of the 4-player maps coming on now. It is technically a 3-player map, as you can't spawn vertically from your opponent, and it does ping to where the other 2 possible spawns are. So it's technically a 3-player map, but it is a 4-player map layout. So that's why both players are not going to be scouting to those vertical positions. Trap will get a little unlucky, as well as SHIN, because of course they're both cross-spawn, so you'll get the latest possible scout, and that means Trap cannot actually block the hatchery, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. SHIN will be able to get that completely free.
Yeah, that's a nice win for SHIN there. Makes your build order and your life so much easier as the Zerg when you don't need to deal with units going from the main to the third base. Now Trap will see that it is a hatch first, get the scout, go into the main, just check what's going on. And the downside for SHIN is he doesn't get to put his Overlord over the wall right away. He has to fly that down there eventually. As we see, it's going to be a gate into Nexus before core.
Crazy if it was the Cyber Core first to go for some super fast Stargate or something like that with 0 gases.
Yeah, or depth pressure, you know.
Yeah.
See that on the ladder sometimes.
It's true. They do come up with some really cheeky stuff over on those on the crazy ladders.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is something that's actually possible to do now as the Protoss, is that you can go for a gasless expand, and it kind of times out totally fine. You go for the double gas after the Cyber Core, and then you can still get everything out basically at the same time with just a slightly faster Nexus. So it's kind of an interesting development in the way that the patch works out, all the new worker changes and everything. So something you would never see, really. Sometimes you would see even gas first, and then like a no scout Nexus build from Protoss back then. But nowadays you can go for this this Nexus before the gases, and then it all kind of times out anyways. So that's what Trap's going for this game. We'll see exactly how he wants to follow it on up. A Stalker first chronoed on out is very interesting, as it looks like he might be trying to intercept where that Overlord is coming from. I wonder if the timing is actually mapped out perfectly to where he could actually get it.
Yeah, there is the high ground there, but can he actually get to this or not? I think he might be able to pick this Overlord off. If he finds it right away, it probably should go down, and there he is.
Sick.
No, Gemini just had a heart attack.
Please don't just walk by it. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, so he's targeting now. It's gonna.
Oh no!
Get away.
That's so sad.
If he was a little bit faster,
I don't think he got it anyways.
I mean,
I don't think he would have had it.
You could probably not, but
oh, he would have had it then.
Yeah, he definitely would get it.
He's gonna get it.
He got it. He did it.
Yes, that's my boy.
1-0.
And he blocks the Lings as well. That's actually pretty good. Of course, that Overlord was kind of just trying to distract for those Lings to be able to sneak on in, but the fact that those get denied as well, that's just a straight win for Trap in this early game.
Yeah, that Stalker doing some work right now. It's going to be the Oracle follow-up here. I will have to see how many he wants to make, as he can go for, 2 or 3 or however many his heart desires. Right now, the Ling posted in the center of the map, controlling that watchtower. There's going to be no adept pressure or anything like that, as he went for Stalker first, which is nice for SHIN. He can kind of drone uncontested right now. He's got his spores nice and early before this Oracle's even out. So they'll be well in time to deal with that. And he's got his third base going up. He's droning. Going to look to overtake the word count of Trap in the near future. And yeah, looking pretty standard apart from that Stalker getting the Overlord in the beginning.
Yeah, Trap has had a couple of PvZs that he has played since coming back. The Oracle, of course, will keep this Adept and Nexus alive, so that's very nice by him. He's had a couple of PvZs that he's played. He played against Solar recently as well. And Solar had one of the games was kind of a bop, but then one of them was actually pretty close. I was able to have some good showing in that series. He did still do a kind of a old style with the Blink +1 with after the Oracles and everything like that. So it was still kind of stuff that you would see from the pre-patch. So I'm wondering if Trap is adapted a little bit since then, if he's changed anything up. It looks like he's going to just go into that Twilight and Forge anyway, so could still go into that. Could also just go into Charge and +1 with that as well, so we'll see exactly what he's got cooked up here. As the double Oracle will be going around to this third base, we'll find a couple drones. Trap has been very famous in the past for impeccable Oracle micro, so once again getting 3 right there. Gets on out without losing too much damage and can keep them alive for later.
Yeah, nice little pick off there. Paying the Oracle tax right now is SHIN. His Zergling just going over to that fourth base, make sure there's nothing there. Got a Roach Warren of his own. And it's going to be all about this, like as you said, Twilight Tech. It's going to be the charge and the +1. Interesting. So no blink pressure this game. Going to be trying to make a lot of Zealots and put them to work.
This is like what herO did actually in that series. I wonder if Trap was watching and was just... I was even thinking about this when the other match was happening. I was like, I wonder if Trap just watched the PvZ from the last series and was like, I'm just going to copy whatever herO does.
It's probably pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it looks to be about the same so far. He went for the 3 Oracles. He's going for the charge +1, getting the extra gateways now. So this looks actually identical to what herO was doing in that PvZ just before. So we'll see if Trap is going to be able to execute it the same way. A nice little probe micro there as well, able to keep that one alive. And the double adept is also going to send its way across the map. So this is something that Trap also used to do all the time, where he was really good at these random 2 adept timings coming out in a really awkward time for the Zerg, always able to get a couple random drones here and there. But wow, that's a play. Talk to me about that, Sturgeon.
Well, yeah, we're going for the Hydra, and we are proxying Aspire. So hopefully the idea is that it doesn't get scouted by the Protoss, and he thinks you're going into Hydras, and suddenly you show up with a bunch of mutas in the mineral line. Very sneaky play coming out of SHIN here in game number 1. The Adepts get caught, but they will be able to shade away. Join up with some other units. Here come the Zealots zooming through this speed zone to help out their brethren over here. Zergling's forced to retreat for now, and it's going to be the Templar Archives follow-up for SHIN. Looks like he will be going to... Oh, okay, quick storm. No Archons this game.
Yeah, so he's going to switch it up a little bit compared to herO. The Zealots still doing pretty decently against the Lings. The Stasis Ward does get triggered, though. I really wonder how aggressive Trap wants to be here, because this is a lot of units. You got Lings, you got Queens, and now the Roach is in response as well. SHIN is much more well-prepared against this compared to the match versus herO, so I think, yeah, Trap definitely wants to run away at this point. Seeing how many units there are on the map already, that's a good trade already to force so many units out that are not drones. Of course, you would love to kill the hatchery just like herO did, but you know, you see that many units, you're not able to actually commit anymore. You just pull back. So you know that you did indirect drone damage by forcing all those units, but now the big problem comes in, whereas Trap needs to prepare for this Mutatech. He's got a couple cannons being created, but I'm not sure where they are. They could just be forward ones at the 3rd base, but he might be sniffing something out with how many Lings there were on the map. And he is making Phoenixes, so it looks like, yes, he has completely sniffed this out or just seen them spawn themselves. So yeah, Trap is going to be prepared for the mutas.
Yeah, he knows the gas must be going somewhere. You don't just make nothing but Lings. He did make 2 Archons here in the Prism, can basically kill infinite Lings with good micro. So putting that to good work here. The Roach is going to try and target down this Cyber Core. Needs to defend that. Phoenix is making at home. There's a lot of mutas flying into the main. Only a couple, I think just the 1 Phoenix here at the moment. Going to have to control this very well. You do not want to lose the first one because it can snowball out of control. Like you say, he does have that cannon in the mineral line to help out though.
He's also got the Prism with the 2 Archons, so you can use that to ferry them around to try and deal with the mutas. He's a bit late with that. It got sent to the main base, but for now, only 3 probes getting killed off is not too bad. You really want to make sure that you defend those as good as possible. The first wave is always the most difficult, because you're as little prepared as possible. Now they're going to come back into the natural, though, and that's where they're going to start to get a couple more probe kills, so this is going to rack up a little bit. And now this is going to be a bit more tricky for Trap. He is responding very heavily to the possible mutas. As you can see, he's still making Phoenixes. And SHIN has just fully transitioned. He's going into Hydras. He's going all the ground upgrades as well. So this was just a bait and switch out of SHIN. So now Trap has to make sure he's prepared for the big ground army that is going to be going across the map pretty quickly. It is it's maxed out for SHIN.
Yeah, I think now he knows, though, as he sees all these Hydras in the middle of the map. This is a lot of Zerg units. SHIN's also going into Infestation Pit behind it. A couple Storms will be available. They're going to have big hits here. Immortals at the front as well as some cannons, but here comes the Swarm. All the Roaches, all the Hydras run into the 3rd base. Can Trap defend this?
Oh, that Stasis timing out right before this attack is very unfortunate timing. The Storms are not quite going out just yet. One of them gets a pretty decent connection on that main Zerg army. He's really being patient with these Storms to make sure that they get the best value from them, trying to get them onto those Hydras, but there's just so many units that everything else on the ground from Trap is dying before he's able to even throw the Storms down.
Yeah, he's running out of units here, frantically trying to warp in a few Zealots, but once these cannons fall, the mineral line will be exposed and SHIN can push in even further. He's still max, producing so much behind this. The Mothership is out though, and a Zealot run by gets into that mineral line. Some counter damage, but it still looks like SHIN's in control here. Yeah, that Mothership's actually going to get targeted down. The Hydras just take that opportunity, kill that off very quickly. There's very little on the ground to support it, so it does get killed off. The Hydras will get traded out in response.
And luckily for Shin, he was actually paying attention to the Zealot run by, so he didn't lose a full mineral line. For a second, it looked like he actually was losing all those drones, but it was only 5 that did get killed off, as the rest of them did evacuate. So that's going to get dealt with. The War Prism gets killed as well, and now Trap is just bleeding out left and right.
Yeah, he's going to try and hold on here, but the Lings get us around on these Immortals. They just slip out back to the cannon here. Hydra's coming in. More Lings are following up here. Going to try and morph another Archon here at the front. But one High Templar actually goes down there. And that's going to be it. GG. Shin takes game number 1.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Trap, of course. It felt like he was trying to go for a very similar style to what herO was going for. But of course, Shin was looking much more well-prepared. This time around, the Zealot attack with the 3 Oracles, not able to do really anything except for delay the drones, but it felt like Shin wasn't even really planning on making that many drones in the first place because he was going to be going into that Spire tech with the hidden Spire, so I think it just kind of worked out really well for Shin. The defense was... it's interesting too because Trap didn't lose an insane amount of probes, but for the amount of response he was doing, it felt like a lot. Because I think he even got a second Stargate, I feel like I saw on the production tab. He was getting a lot of Phoenixes out, all the cannons and everything. So all the probes getting killed off anyways is pretty rough.
Yeah, Mutas into Hydras is such a difficult build for Protoss to deal with because you have to respond to the Mutas.
Exactly.
You don't want to lose all your probes, obviously, but you can't over-respond or the follow-up, Hydra, Roach, Ling push just hits too hard. And it's like a kind of tight balancing act, and you have to read when your opponent's switching exactly.
Yep.
So very good build from Shin, making it extra sneaky as well by proxying it on the creep from that Overlord at the very top of the map. You're basically never going to scout that unless it's by luck. The Prism was absent in the final defense. I think it was harassing with Archons or something.
It was the one that did the Zealot harass, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was doing the Zealot harass. That would have been nice to have at home, but I'm not sure if it would have made the difference in the end. Shin just had so much there.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but anyways, Exarch is going to be the next map, another 4-player map, 2 in a row here, Trap on the bottom right with Shin on the top left, another cross-spawn situation. So that probably means that Shin will be able to get this hatchery down uncontested yet again, so that's a bit unfortunate for Trap's side. I swear to God, I'm trying to be unbiased with these. I swear to God.
It's alright, just tell us how you really feel, Gemini. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, unless he makes a beeline right across the other side of the map, probably going to be able to get the hatch first if he wants to, which is always nice. Normally on the 2-player maps, you're not able to do so. I kind of feel like as a Protoss, maybe you don't want to go to these 4-player maps. I'm not sure. Like, you do get to be a bit greedy yourself and do some of your own things, but...
Yeah, if you can set up really nice defensively, then I think it'll go really well for you, because then it's going to be, hard for the Zerg to really break your positions, and then you can get the crazy Sky Toss army and everything like that, so it still could be pretty okay. But yeah, not being able to get the hatch blocks is a bit obnoxious, but regardless.
Not being able to change where your opponent makes their expansion is obnoxious?
I mean, when every other map that you play, you get it for free, then yeah, it's a little obnoxious, yeah.
All right. Well,
slightly annoying.
We'll see if you have the same tune when the Terrans are eBay blocking.
Dude, no, you're not wrong in that regard. Those 300 CCs, man, I feel like those eBay blocks are going to be pretty common.
Yeah, I reckon so as well. The core going to go down here, and finally Trap gets the confirmation of the hatch time. It's actually a second hatch here as well, and it's before the pool. And
it's core before Nexus. So like what you were kind of saying last game. Look at that. He's actually going to be doing that. Very interesting, and if any game is going to be good for that, it'll be this one, since it is, a 3-hatch before pool, which is something we almost never see. That this is something pre-patch would be, it's just not good. Like, it's just... Like
sometimes on Celestial Enclave, maybe, but even then, not so much.
Yeah, it just...
I mean, your link speed is so late.
Exactly.
It's so difficult to deal with the initial Adept harass and...
So the amount of drones that you need to cut to get Lings to be able to defend the Adepts is what makes it so bad. Because, like you said, you can't have Ling speed, so you just... all the economy that you would have gotten is wasted because you have to make Zerglings.
Yeah, and I mean, he did go, like you say, core before Nexus here, so going to have some very quick Adepts, and the mineral line is at the front of the natural on this map, so it's even more harassable. So yeah, I'm expecting these Adepts to do some damage here, or at least force a lot of Lings out.
Yeah. That's definitely the game plan right now from Trap. He hasn't actually seen the third hatch just yet, but based off the pool timing, he can definitely assume that that's what's going on. And already one drone getting killed off very quickly. Second one gets switched, but then goes for the other one. Yeah, I love that.
That was
baiting
smart.
him. That's the old Adept micro that Trap is definitely well known for as well. Will be able to kill off a Ling as well before getting on out there. Now he's got the second one coming up, and now the damage can only increase.
Dude, 99 out of 100 Protosses hit that Spore Crawler there.
Yeah.
That was actually smart. I like that.
Yeah, it's
Switching
very
the
cool.
target there was really cool. These Lings, I don't know why they're out on the map. Like, there's Adepts pushing them. Just trying to get run by and get a scout, I guess. He has a Queen at the front and a decent amount of Lings now, so I don't think he'll take too much more damage. But this has definitely already been worth it.
He can easily just go into the main base if he wanted to. He's forcing the drones to run away as well. He's going pretty deep right now. I don't quite know if this is worth it. Is he's going to get one more drone and then just kind of lose them? Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's the best play, because he's going into Glaives behind it as well, not off of a Stargate, just straight into Glaives, which is something we don't normally see as much either. So, yeah, that would be great, of course, to keep as many of those Adepts alive. So, yeah, a bit, I don't know, greedy, I guess, to go for that dive.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a few more workers, it can pay off, but it didn't in that case. SHIN did have to make a lot of Lings, though. He made 15 of them died already, I think.
They're also attacking the wall
yeah,
right
there's
now.
a lot at the front here. There's only a Stalk here. Okay, the shield
timing.
battery just in time to keep this.
God.
That would have been the end of the game, by the way,
Yeah.
if the Lings get in there.
Trap had so much respect for that battery getting up in time. He believed that would not get killed off. That is kind of crazy. So yeah, that was really close to just being a game-ending move.
Yeah, as it is, though, the third hatch, before Pool does get up, SHIN able to make a lot of drones right now. This Overlord Scout goes in, sees the Twilight researching something. If he's able to put together or just misses this pylon out of the map, this would be a huge find if he can see this. Might just kill the rush, but or at least make them warp in at home, and then the rush distance is super long. He's actually going to find it as well.
Oh, that's a bit unfortunate again for Trap. Not able to have this warp in get going here at that forward position, but the Adepts are going to run across the map anyways. It's only 4 of them. You need to be careful. Even though they do have Glaives, they can easily get surrounded, so he's just going to leave them at the Watchtower for now. Hopefully bait out a lot of units, as he is definitely doing that. SHIN is making a lot of Lings right now, and that Roach Warren, so he's really respecting the fact that Trap could be going super hard on this Adept pressure. Funny enough, back when Trap was beating SHIN so often many years ago, it was a lot of times off of these really fast Adept plays. He was really good at the mind games with how aggressive he was being with them, whether he was going to be going for 4-gate, whether he was going to go for the all-in version of 6 gates, whether he doesn't go for it at all and just goes for a third base like he is this time. So maybe tapping into that a little bit this game yet again, as he does go for that fast third, a couple sentries after the Adepts, and forcing out so many units from SHIN.
Yeah, SHIN's made an insane amount of Lings here. Now he can go back to droning. Now he knows he's safe. This Scout comes in, sees the layer is on the way. Not already finished, no super fast tech or anything like that. Just gets a full Scout here. And that pylon going down actually supply bulk Trap a bit there. Maybe that plays into his decision to not warp in another round. He was preparing to take the third anyway by mining out these minerals. And okay, here come the Lings. They're actually just going to attack this Nexus here. Try to go for the cancel.
Yeah, you got to use some force fields to be able to defend against this, but you got to be very careful. Good for Trap, not just kind of wasting all of them right at the start. Wants to make sure that he, baits the Lings for as long as possible to save as much energy as he can. So thankfully, we'll be able to keep that third base alive from his perspective, and that's going to mean that he's going to be feeling pretty okay going into this mid-game, perhaps. SHIN didn't really get to overtake him on the drones for quite a while. There's still the chance that SHIN could just go for a really big attack off of this relatively low drone count. He could just kind of stop for what he's got right now and just go into a really big Roachling Ravager attack. It could be a bit deadly if Trap is not able to identify that.
Yeah, he's going to go for +1 Carapace as well, getting the Roach speed. Blink on the way here for Trap. Getting a War Prison well, and he's going to go into Banes as well. So it looks like it's going to be Roach Ravager, Ling, Bane. That can be a very solid comp. If you get the Banes on top of all these sentries, into the heart, this army can be weakened. He's actually going to move out right now. I did not expect this, quite frankly. But he's going to move out on the map. There are a bunch of Lings here. Oh, nice force fields. Catches some of these.
Yeah, very nice force fields. We'll be able to kill a lot of those Lings. I really hope this is a fake move out from Trap just to force units, because right now he looks like he's attacking into someone that's all-inning him. The fact that he's going for a forge and still making probes makes it look like that, yes, he is just kind of posturing, going for the middle watchtower, making sure he takes that, and then just walks back on home and uses that prism for some harassment instead. He really needs to get some kind of intel that there's a very low drone count right now. It's only 63. SHIN is starting to make a few more drones, actually a lot more just queued up right there, and the infestation pit. So it looks like he's not going to go super all in, but there's still a good amount of units from SHIN that Trap needs to be careful of.
Yeah, if you get caught in the middle of the map here, it's so open and wide in the middle, and so many attack avenues exist that you can get that army surrounded very quickly. I love this little harass, just 2 adepts at kind of an odd point in the game. You're not going to have units here ready for this. Able to pick off some drones, excuse me. 5 go down already, even saves that 1 adept. Very nice move here if this gets out.
Don't run into the tubes.
Hitting the tubes.
That's so funny. But yeah, a nice little jab right there. Again, Trap is usually quite good at being able to find those little openings with the double adept. Going in yet again. And then loses the War Prism.
After we praised
that
him
is
as well.
not what you're supposed to do. But anyways, that's a bit unfortunate yet again from him. But regardless, he's still going to move across the map. And I'm very worried that he's going to just walk into a very large army that he's not suspecting. But to be fair, this is like only half of the army from SHIN, but now the rest of the Zerglings are going to come on in. Force fields needing to be thrown down. There are bios getting thrown down as well onto those force fields, but since they were buffed recently, it does require 2 bios per force field now, so it makes these sentry pushes much more volatile.
There's actually no Banes with this army at the moment either. He's just morphing some in now, but he didn't have them before. Oh, he might cut this army in half here. Loads of roaches at the front, gonna fall. Oh, that bio was nasty.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous set of bios onto the army, and right again, they're following up onto the Immortals. Trap is really going pretty deep with this army in a spot that he really doesn't need to. The Banelings now coming in as well, so they're going to be able to get some connections, even just kind of saving them as SHIN realizes that he's just winning the fight regardless. Oh, and then he blinks into the slow zone as well. Oh my god, Trap, get out of here! You do not want to be on this part of the map right now, man.
Yeah, those slow zones can be brutal when you're trying to make a retreat. He's trying to make this transition into Colossus happen, but SHIN's already going into Ultras right now. And against, this Stalker-only army, soon to be with Colossus, I think Ultralisk with Microbial Shout is going to do extremely well. These Stalkers, some of them might get caught here, going to have to micro very well, run through the speed zone, try to get home with these. He's trying to take a 4th base behind this, but I think it's going to be a tough order to keep hold of it.
Yeah, he's basically just microing Stalkers across the map, just trying to get as much value from them as possible to delay the push if he can, because he knows he needs time. He just lost so many important units. He lost all of his sentries in that engagement as well, so he's got nothing really defensively to be able to set this up. Lost 3 Immortals as well. He's trying to go into the Colossus and Disruptor tech, but SHIN is just already a step ahead going into that Ultra and Hive tech like you had mentioned, so it feels like Trap's attempt in this game to go for that early sentry pressure and then transition into Colossus afterwards is just hitting a step too late, and it's not really hitting the mark that he wanted to with it, and now SHIN has already eclipsed that part of the game and is going into the later game stage where Trap is really just not prepared for that whatsoever.
Yeah, it feels like at this point in the game, Protoss should be going Sky Toss already or something like that, but we're just trying to get out our first Robo Bay units here, so he does have Storm on the way as well, not available just yet. Picks off a few Roaches for now, but SHIN is maxed, so going to bust down these rocks, find another way into the base of Trap.
Yeah, and Trap doesn't even realize this is happening. He doesn't even see the rocks breaking down, and now the Banelings are going to find their way over here. Is he paying attention? Is he going to be able to pull them away? The Banelings actually go into the army and a blink forward to try and body block for the Templar. We'll keep those alive, but 11 probes getting killed off in the 3rd base. That's really good damage to a Protoss that was already low on eco.
Yeah, 57 to 85 workers right now, heavily in SHIN's favor. Andy has his tier 3 tech out. Ultra speed on the way, Neural on the way. The Zealot run by does nothing. He's using Diva. Like it's just every time I hear that voice, it like grates in my ears.
It's the worst, dude.
But anyway, I just think Trap's, like you said, his tech is very far behind. At this point, you need like a really high Immortal count to deal with the Ultras, or an insane Sky Toss army.
Yeah. It looks like Trap is trying to kind of go for something that he was really good at before he retired, which was going and just sitting on 3 or 4 bases and just maxing out with a ridiculously, just a ridiculous ground army of Immortals, Archons, Blink Stalkers, maybe some Colossus in there. and just get like a really powerful army on low probes, and then just go for some crazy push across the map as like a last desperate attempt. But he's not even maxed out, and he's sitting in the middle of the map, and he's just going to get surrounded yet again. Storm's getting thrown down onto Ultralisk is the last thing you want, as the Microbial Shroud is really keeping these units alive. Trap even missed microing, clicking those rocks for a second, as all of these units are getting absolutely eviscerated in the middle of the map right here. Fungal is locking down the Stalkers as well. Trap is getting completely overrun.
Yeah, the Ultras made their presence felt, and the game ends in the blink of an eye. Shin takes map number 2. That means he will be moving on to face Classic in the elimination match. And Trap, I'm sorry to say it, Gemini, but he is out.
I'm going to go jump out of a window. Hold me back, I'm going.
Gemini is okay. He can try again next season.
It's not possible.
It's not the end. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, we kind of expected as much from Trap coming into this, coming into today. Yeah. It was a very tough group for him. It was three of the best Korean players we have out here. So, I mean, 2 of the best Protosses as well. So, not unexpected. Still cool to see him back a little bit. Hopefully he kind of keeps with it. Obviously a bit out of practice overall, but maybe if he keeps trying to play a little bit more, if the competitive drive stays in him, maybe he can come back and have better skill in a couple months or so.
That's a skill indeed, yeah. And if you want to see him back,
he sucks today.
He needs a little skill.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I mean, unacceptable.
He hasn't reached the Gemini standard for this season, but
not yet.
If you want to see him back, get over to the Patreon.
Yeah, just vote him back in again.
Vote him back in. Vote him in every season. Keep Gemini happy.
Yeah, man.
You can also vote on the maps, get replays, get merch, chat on the Discord, all that stuff. And this is a community-funded event, so the more you guys support, the more things we can do here. We do have the BlizzCon finals for this season, and then the offline event, which will be later in the year. But check it out. There's a whole bunch of different tiers. You can also just sign up for free, get notified when the tournament's going live, and what we are up to.
Yep. Going to go to a short little break, everybody. The last match of the day is coming on up. Do not go anywhere. More RSL after this.
Hello. Welcome back. Thank you for waiting. We're going to continue on with the final match here of the RSL. A little PVZ, a little PEDVZ, as we say. Yeah, let's see how these guys are going to approach this matchup. SHIN, yeah, I mean, he's been looking pretty strong here. But, beating, no disrespect to Trap, but I mean, I think Trap is kind of in a different category of skill compared to these other guys. But this should be a good match here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Classic was one of the best Protosses we had last year. He had a very good PVZ back then as well. SHIN, of course, has been just on the up and up ever since, maybe like a couple years ago. It seems like he's really started to peak in skill. So he definitely wants to make sure he gets out of this group as well.
Yes. This should be a pretty good one. We're actually loading the game up right now. So we're going to go on to Ruby Rock here for map numero uno here.
Whoa. Is that multiple studies in college?
I've studied
Tasteless?
many subjects, and that's how I could do many different types of map intros here for this cast.
Is that one of the classes, Map Intro 101?
That is in Espanol.
Oh.
Yes. All right, guys. Let's get into this. Let's unpack PVZ. I know that the meta's been changing a lot because obviously the game's been changing a lot. But yeah, I'm curious to kind of see, how PVZ specifically has been. I feel like we got to spend a lot of time on the Terran 300 Mineral Command Center.
Yeah. No Terrans in this group, though, so we don't get to experiment with that too much.
Good riddance, I say.
Yeah, man.
Take that, 1/3 of all the viewers.
It's kind of interesting when you think about it. Yeah, like when there is like a group or just a day with a certain matchup more than the other, it's like we do really kind of alienate a really large portion of the community by not having one player play.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
That's true, man. You're like a Protoss player watching TVZ. You're like, I'm not getting a lot from this. Like, I like the game, but if you're playing, if you're active, you're always kind of like, all right, what are the good players doing? I need to steal this. That's why tournaments like this are so fun. Like, we'll see players do something in a tournament like RSL, and then the ladder will change.
Right.
Like, everybody starts to do it, and it spreads. Like a virus.
The RSL virus.
Yes.
Infecting people's
the
minds.
RSL plague.
Yes.
I wish it'd spread more like a virus. I wish our YouTube would really spread like a virus.
I want our Patreon spread like a virus.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
With no cure. But it doesn't kill you. It's like that kind of virus.
It just steals your money.
Yeah. We basically are wishing for herpes right now. He caught the Patreon. He's got regular breakouts.
Oh God, that's the worst. He has to pay $10 a month. Oh,
that's right, forever. There's no cure.
And it helps support so many people to do things they love.
It's going to be one really awkward conversation with your girlfriend, but you're going to be a Patreon member for the rest of your life, okay? All right, guys. Going into this game, I'm sorry. What was I talking about?
We got a hatch
hatchery over here.
Yeah.
All right. So the hatch block's still in the game with 8 workers, huh?
Yes, it is. I'm actually very curious to see how this works because hatch block is one of the things that I struggle the most with whenever I play as well. And I did have it happen to me recently, and I was just completely no idea what to do with the 8 workers now. So I really want to see how Classic responds to this so far. Getting 2 Zealots out of the gateway is pretty interesting. Already a switch up, something that you don't normally see. Usually it would be 1 and then a Pro pull to maybe deal with that. But going for double Zealot and then double Adept afterwards as well. Looking like he's doing this like a 12 pool response, like from pre-patch, where you then send everything across after you defend the attack. So cancel there on the hatchery, and then the Pro will come down to try and chase that, or hopefully get his own Nexus down. And then he's going to send the 2 Zealots and the 2 Adepts across the map to see if he can force a lot of Lings, or maybe even kill some drones.
Yeah, the Nexus is started up, and I'm curious, what can you take advantage of with the units that you've kind of forced out here? I mean, slow Zealots, you almost don't even see them, right? It's easy to forget they're even in the game, right? But he's going to try to come across the map. Now, it seems like Zerg would have ample time to get enough Lings to hold this.
Yeah, he does get a lot of Lings out, but the thing from the Zerg perspective is that that's not drones that he's able to use for his economy, of course, and now he's even just evacuating the natural, as this is still a very big threatening set of units from Classic this early, getting 1 drone as well there on the transfer. So this is a great win right now for Classic, seeming like he knows exactly how to respond to the proxy hatch, and now denying this mining, forcing a lot of Zerglings from SHIN. And yeah, this is looking really good for Classic.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, force out those Lings. We're with the Zerg on 2 bases right now, by the way. He's going to send the Adepts up. He does cancel. But yeah, I mean, Zerg's sitting on 2 bases. Protoss is about to get this second base up. And, with the Adepts out, it's not easy to get a drone out on the map to get this hatchery started, right?
Mm-hmm. Looks like he's going to be sending everything home, as he knows speed will be finishing up very shortly. Doesn't want to just lose all of the units to the big Ling swell. It would be nice, of course, if you could keep them across the map to deny that 3rd base for as long as possible, but Classic thinks he already did enough damage, and of course, like I said, just wants to make sure he retains all of these units, doesn't want to just lose them and then be under threat to the Ling counterattack. So, perfect play, essentially, from Classic overall, I would say. Just was supply blocked for just a moment, but otherwise is looking pretty good.
Is there a chance you could try to come out and try to hit that 3rd hatch as it's making? Or I guess maybe it's actually just better to stay back and kind of throw up.
It's a risk, because if you miscalculate where the Lings are, how many were made, when speed finishes, there's a big chance that it just ends up failing. And in a situation where pulling back will just probably be the better choice no matter what anyways, because you already did such a good amount of damage. So yeah, I think it's if you wanted to maybe keep making units out of the gateways and rally them across, there's a chance where he can go for something like that. But after he cut the units, I think it's a hard move to go for.
Okay, we've got some Oracles headed up here now towards the main, and I gotta say, tempo-wise, this feels good for Protoss.
Yep.
3rd base already on the way. Obviously with the worker count lower, Zerg's going to get their 3rd hatch up. It just feels like, I don't know, it feels like Zerg is in a constant state of trying to play catch-up right now, Now, let's keep in mind, this was based off a hatch block.
Yeah. Yeah, SHIN opted into this, essentially.
Yeah.
He forced this
did this
game.
to himself. Okay.
Yeah. He stabbed himself in the own foot here. I mean, he did eclipse Classic in the drone count, of course. You generally do that at about 40 or so. Was able to get to the 52 and still making a few more. Glaives is going to be the response from Classic, as he's got a few Adepts walking across the map before it finishes as well, just trying to clear some creep and just to threaten whatever he can, force as many units out, and again, stop SHIN from droning. But it looks like SHIN was already going to be stopping drones anyways. He's got so many Lings in the production tab right now. I wonder if he wants to be aggressive or if he's just expecting more Adepts here and just wants to make sure he really doesn't die to them.
He's going to come up again. Okay, this is forcing a decent amount of Lings out here to try to defend. The Glaives is almost done. That is, by the way, when Glaze finishes, I don't think you need to commit, by the way. I think this really is more of a pressure build. The Link Surround's going to come in here. This is pretty good. He's going to really damage down these shields. I think about half, yeah, are going to be killed off before they can get away. This is totally backfired now for Classic. I mean, he's lost all of his map presence. I think he needed to basically retreat back and probably go behind mineral patches or just somewhere where the Lings have less surface area. When you get Lings that have a full surround like that, I don't know. I mean, is there a possibility that Zerg could actually counterattack all the way across the map?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to at least poke with the Zerglings, but without any roaches or anything behind, it's going to be hard to really push for too much damage, as of course putting the Adepts behind the minerals and stuff like that will make it very difficult to get on top of them. So still, Shin will be happy with that trade, of course, killing all of those Adepts and then making it so that way his drone lines stay very nice and safe is great for him. And then he gets his roaches out, so he's going to be defended against the next wave, although these are going really deep and the Zerglings are not quite in position to trap them, but will still get a decent surround afterwards anyways. Only a few drones getting killed off right now, as the drone pull was also pretty good. So yeah, pretty nice trade there from Shin yet again.
Yeah, I don't know about that move to attack in like that.
Yeah.
I think that was...
It's pretty greedy.
That was bad, dude. Now
16 Adepts is actually crazy.
Yeah, 16 Adepts for 6 drones.
Yikes.
Ay-yi-yi.
Now here's that counterattack like you were talking about. Queens as well, I think. I think I saw a few of them waddling across.
I think so, yeah. Oh, make it 17. And not even getting a drone. Oh, 2 drone kills.
Eat your words.
Yeah, I take it back. I don't know, man. I don't know how you survive this.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. We got Overlords dropping creep as well to make sure that those Queens can transfuse if they do need to, but this army is just massive right now from Shin. Trying to get on top of all the units. The batteries are placed very nicely to deny the surface area for now, but there's only so many places you can run back to as Classic in this position. The Ravager count continues to be really good. The Queens keeping them alive as well. The Oracle's getting killed off by those Queens, and now it's just those couple of Morals. This is looking really bad for Classic.
A tale of hubris. The hubris of the Adepts coming across the map like that. There's no way to salvage this. I mean, this is over, man. There's like 1 sentry fighting behind all these minerals.
I can force field long enough to stay alive.
It's a little Ghostbuster beam. It's like, ah, trying to not die.
I'm being overwhelmed.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
That was a bit...
I don't know why.
A bit balls to the wall from Classic, trying to get all those drones with the Adepts there.
Well, the second time he did it, I'm like, all right, this is...
Yeah.
I get the idea of, like, applying pressure because... You know, he was in such good shape.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum that Protoss had back there was so good, but yeah, I mean, when you throw away, I think by the end it was 17 Adepts.
It was a lot.
You know, I don't believe that Zerg was before that game started said I will do a all in with Queens and Ravagers.
Right.
I think he just got that much. He went, all right, let's just try to end the game right now.
Yeah, I almost don't fault Classic for the second shade just because it looked like there was no units sitting there at that natural, and it looked like he was about to get a nice position, finishing the shade up in the middle of that mineral line in between the nodes to make it very difficult for the surface area, but Shin still did a really good job of being able to trap the Adepts and then force pulling away with the drones as well. So just an overall nice defense from Shin, and Classic just got a bit baited.
We are going to go to Old Sun Temple. The Old Sun
Ye
Temple.
Old Sun Temple.
We're going to go there now. See? And then the player's going to expand when I clap my hands.
Damn, they really are teaching you some good stuff in that intro 101 class, man.
Yeah, this is pretty good, huh?
Should have taken the English class and not the Spanish one, man.
Yeah, right. Hey, watch this. I'm going to do it again. He's going to go to Protoss, please. Protoss. Wait, I need him to make a pylon. All right, he's going to make a pylon right around when I yawn. Right? So stupid. See how I did that? Is that crazy? Who's in control here? Who's in control here, huh? All right.
Oh, that was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, it was really stupid. That might be the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Your face is yours.
Yeah, you guys probably don't even believe this, but I actually faked that yawn.
It sounded so realistic.
Yeah, you probably thought this guy can do everything. He can yawn on command.
Whoa, that's
I can only
sick.
do that when I have somebody else in. I probably made a couple people yawn at home, too.
That's true. Yawns are contagious.
Yeah,
that
contagious,
is a good point.
just like our Patreon.
Oh, yes, that virus spreading around quick.
Getting out there. All right, guys, we're going to have the Probe Scout come up here. Cross spawns. in this case with the locations. And no hatch block.
Yep. Cross spawn makes it very difficult unless you scout cross spawn first, which is very rare. It's quite a gamble to go for that. So won't be able to block that hatchery as Classic, which is a bit unfortunate for him. Almost blocks that pool though. But yeah, it's going to be a nice opener from Shin, being able to take his natural nice and easily. We'll see if Classic, what he actually wants to go for here, of course. Just going for that Nexus as per usual. It's not going to be that 3 hatch per 4 pool like Shin tried to do against Trap either, so it looks like that was kind of just like a one-off build. Doesn't want to rotate that one back in, because maybe that was... I wonder if that was like a little disrespect against Trap, being like, you're still kind of coming back a little bit. I think I can get away with this on this map.
It actually might have been.
Yeah.
It's possible. So, let's see if Zerg can develop. For me, this cast, it's super exploratory, right? With the the new meta, the new patch, and everything. But obviously, when you have a lot of workers at the start, the third base is going to come out a little bit quicker, right? And Zerg is always the race that's. I mean, generally speaking, they have more bases they're ahead, right? It's always been like that since the first StarCraft came out 27 years ago, right? The very first StarCraft and StarCraft 1, the Zerg. It turns out they kind of ended up looking like the way they played out in the. The lore, the story, and the game, and everything. But it does seem like, with an 8-worker start, takes a little bit more time to get that third hatchery up. And, all your income, that you get early on, it kind of ripples out through the game, right? StarCraft truly is a game about momentum. And so in this game, we got the Lynx chasing the probe down. Protoss is about halfway finished with the Stargate.
Yeah, not too unexpecting to see the Stargate coming on in. That Twilight from Trap in the last series was kind of an anomaly. You don't really see any fast Twilight builds coming out in PvZ right now. It's still a lot of a Stargate. It just still provides so much utility. The builds don't really get too affected in that regard with the 8-worker change-up and the Warp Gate change-up and everything. It seems like players just still feel like they want to go for the Stargate. More so, I would say, just because of the way that the Warp Gate works now. It's a bit awkward, and people are still kind of figuring out how to make that work to its best ability. The Adeptor will find its way into the main. Will get a drone. It's quite nice. Might get a second one. Ooh, very nice timing, though, on that Spore Crawler.
Drone combat rolled into a Spine Crawler in the last second. So we're going to have the Oracle come out. And I wouldn't be shocked if we just see a quick third base. I mean, like we always have in Legacy of the Void, where it's just the Adept and the Oracle can cover, and you're gonna have that Nexus up here. A lot of times PvZ feels like it starts after the third base.
Yeah, absolutely. There's very little 2-base things going on in the matchup. I was really curious if the Sentry buff would end up influencing that at all, if the force fields being more lethal now would have potentially added in some of that old school Immortal Sentry style that we saw in years past.
Right.
Whether or not that would be an interesting thing to experiment with, but it seems like for now some of the Protoss players are not really trying that. At least it doesn't seem like they're thinking it's too successful. I feel like it's still kind of easy to scout that from a Zerg POV. If you're not seeing that third base coming down at a certain time, you're just, the alarm bells start ringing in the back of your head. You're just in full defensive mode, and Zergs are generally able to get enough units out. What just happened?
He attacked his own drone.
Oh, did he actually? Oh, you're right.
Let me help you. You only need one of these oracles to shoot this down now.
Let's give you an alley-oop.
Yeah. Good control here by Shin, pulling those drones away. We've got melee attack being upgraded. Protoss is still filling in all the rest of the tech here. So we got the Twilight Council just now finishing, and a Forge 2. He's going to go for Zealot Charge.
Yeah, that seems to be the flavor of the week for now. A lot more charge being used instead of the blink in this new patch. +1 is going to be accompanying it as well. And it looks like Classic, is just going to be doing basically the same thing that herO and Trap were doing earlier in those PvZs. See how successful he can be with this, as those other 2 games that had them attacking the 4th base with the 3 Oracles and a group of Charge Zealots. The first time, herO was able to be very successful with that, killing the 4th base. The second time with Trap trying it out, didn't really do all that much. So we'll see what Classic's able to do with this build this time.
Yeah, we've got the 2 gases going down here. Zerg is definitely getting to where you want to be in a much more comfortable way here on that 4th base. And, unless we start to see Stargates go down here, this looks like it's going to be that inevitable PvZ push we see so often, which does take a while. You really have to get a lot more of the building blocks set up. before you can move out and get that really sophisticated Protoss army. Oh, he gets the hat trip in time.
Was not paying attention, unfortunately. The Oracles definitely could have got that, but regardless, we'll be able to get it down. Spire coming down from Shin as well, so we'll be going into the Mutas yet again.
Going Mutt-Mutts.
Going for the Mutt-Mutts.
Interesting.
Or the Mutas, as Sarah likes to say.
Mutas.
I would like to get the Mutas.
Mutas.
I'm not good at the Finnish accent, but...
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. The that was one of my favorite things when I first went to StarCraft tournaments, was finding out who couldn't read. They would say Archons.
Or Zealots.
Zealots, like the they don't know that Zealot is a word.
Yeah. That was me, actually, when I was a little kid. I called them Zealots when I first saw it.
I remember there's this period when StarCraft 2 came out and Artosis and I started casting it, and we see people online be like, they don't even know how to say the name right. It's not Zealot, it's Zealot. I was like, oh, this is great. So he actually is going to be able to target this 12 o'clock hatchery. Is there enough juice in the Oracles to actually target this down? Yes! Yes! Oh, he's going to expand again. I'm still in control. I'm still in control here.
Sick throwback, man. That was awesome.
Wow, he went
you guys
full
get
circle
that?
with that.
Remember that one from the early game?
How does he do that? It is going to be Stargate. I was totally wrong. No, it's not. It's sleeping. It's a mothership.
Yeah. The fast mothership.
No. It's going to be a carrier zone. No, wait, no. Okay. All right, we got Blink coming up here. Yeah, mothership with the rest of the army. And, Zerg, when you go for a Ling Muta, you have a lot of counterattack potential.
Did get that scout on that one Mutalisk popping. I'm not sure if he was paying attention. He's making a couple cannons, or at least one cannon. There we go. A couple more getting placed down. So I think Classic did see that. So is going to be trying to prepare for those Mutas. So funny.
Nothing. I can't say it. Can't say it.
Okay. Moving on?
No. Moving on. We got the mothership about halfway done. And who's going to attack who first here? I mean, feels like Shin would probably want to just be doing counterplay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, we're going to have this push be ready pretty soon here. Zerg's... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Actually, Classic's a lot lower in supply than I realized. He's only at about 111. So it's going to be a while before he can attack out here.
Yeah, he's just trying to defend these Mutas for now with the Archons. He didn't get quite enough of an early scout and didn't have quite enough units to just walk across the map in the way that herO did against Shin earlier in the day. So he's just going to go for the purely defensive style himself with that mothership about to spawn out, getting the second Stargate, getting Phoenix range as well to make sure he can kill as many of these Mutas as possible. But Shin is yet again doing the bait and switch. He's only got a few Mutas and then is transitioning fully into a ground army with Hydralisks as well. So Shin trying to bait out all of this response from Classic with all these Phoenix, and it so far is working out for him.
Okay, so I mean, Shin is really getting pretty comfortable here. There's a few more places he can still expand to on this map. You know, some maps Zerg are kind of like stuck in a position, right? They kind of run out of locations that they can actually grow into, but this is like a huge map. Like, Zerg could easily continue to expand to the top right and to the bottom left, so Protoss has to be aware of that. I think this is not a game Protoss can kind of, like, sit it out, you know. Some PvZs we do see the exhaust play, like we see more often in TvZ. But I think this map maybe not the one for that.
Right. Muta's going to get chased down at this point as range is finished up, but the Hydras will be able to save a few of them. One of those Phoenix getting killed off as well, but 6 probes got killed by the Mutas before that happened, so yet again, Shin is, beating down Classic in the economy. Only at 64 probes as he's trying to get his 4th base set up. You would like to have a few more as Classic, I would think. So he's been losing quite a few back and forth, but he's still got a pretty decent army, and he will be able to chase down the Mutas and definitely kill them all off at this point. So that's a nice little thing that he can, check off. Doesn't have to deal with those Mutas anymore. But of course, this massive Hydra Ball is the next thing that's going to have to be dealt with.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to flatten the 3 o'clock position. He's going to have a bunch of Banes probably to try to wipe out the probes here. This is going to be a 1-2 punch. The Banes are going to be hitting the 3rd base, so he's going to try to hit the 4th base up here. He's going to take out these rocks. Does Protoss know this is right outside of here? He seems to have moved his army up here, but does he actually see this?
I think he's aware that this is coming, and he will be in position. Cloak does get triggered onto the mothership as well. There are Overseers to be able to help with this, but they are a little bit far away. Now the Banelings go in to that 3rd base. Lots more probes are going to get killed off as the armies are still fighting over on this 4th.
Still some Banes in here are going to come through, take out these Zealots that are underneath. There's just not quite enough Hydras, I think. for him to actually hold this fight off. But the question is going to be, when SHIN remakes all this, and there's a lot of Lings and Hydras hatching, is Protoss still going to have enough to keep fighting?
Yeah, he's really lost a lot of his key units. He's basically just got the Mothership and a few Blink Stalkers. Storm was not researched during all of that, and it's still not done. So he's not had any Templar to be able to reinforce with Storms. And now there's lots more units sharking around for SHIN. He's even going into the Ultra Cavern as well. So he's setting himself up for that late game that was very successful earlier on in the day as well. Lings are going to be forced away from the third base for now, so Classic will have a moment to breathe. But again, it was all of the tech getting reset except for that Mothership. He's got really nothing on the ground. He just warped in a few Templar, and they're going to be trying to bank up some energy for Storms, and that's going to be really the only thing keeping Classic in this game if SHIN wants to attack anytime soon.
Now, right now, Classic needs to basically survive, right? You have to run the clock. I think, there's only so much that Zerg can dump in supply and resources to kind of have these big, ideally devastating attacks and make it work. But, eventually the Protoss is going to just kind of grow through this, and I think it's going to be their turn to play. He's going to go for a drop, and I think this is super smart.
He might even fake it, although, no, the Lings are going to be meeting them up. Because we've seen a couple of Zergs try this as well, where they just bait the army by going in with a bunch of fake Overlords, but these ones will be loaded on up, so a massive Ling drop is heading for the main base. Let's see if Classic's going to be prepared for this, as he's making a couple Tempest, which I'm not quite sure how effective those are going to be against a bunch of Ultralisks and still a pretty sizable ground army.
So this is smart. One of the things you can kind of do here is take advantage of the fact that, they can only recall so many times in a short period of time. So you kind of force the army to relocate, and then you usually have one final big attack that hits somewhere that's, such an inconvenience to try to defend.
Baneling's trying to roll in at the same time, but nice defense set up there from Classic.
It's nothing done over there.
The Lings in the main base, though, are doing a lot of damage, and that's pulling the army away, so then the army on the right-hand side can get inside of that probe line, and that's 21 probes getting killed off, and the Nexus in the main, and 2 of the Stargates as well. A great overall move from SHIN.
Yeah, he got a lot done there. That's knocking the probe count down to, it was just below 60 a minute ago, or a second ago. And, SHIN's just continuing to hit all these different areas, and he's continuing to grow on the map. There's a lot of bases Zerg can keep taking here.
Yeah, there's a lot more leverage to be had here from SHIN in this game. He's really taking control. Ever since the mutas, it felt like Classic has just been responding to everything that's been happening. He's not really been able to take any tempo on the map himself. He's been purely defensive the entire time. And that's kind of what he's been liking in PvZ overall. It seems like he likes to just get to this super late game and just get a really robust army that can't be killed. And he's usually pretty good at it, but this game feels like he's been losing quite a lot. And his army composition doesn't feel that insane. He's got 20 Zealots in his army, which isn't that great against so many Ultralisks as well. I feel like SHIN is still going to be in a pretty good spot if these fights actually happen.
Another drop over here. And, it's getting harder and harder to kind of... Oh, my God, he's going to recall back here. This kind of preempts this drop. But what about the drop that's just above this? That's kind of funny. I think that's not exactly the sequence that SHIN was expecting. I certainly wasn't. I think he got ahead of himself there. The Ultras are going to come through here, and I don't know, if there's enough on the ground to actually stop this. This is so much damage.
It's a lot of Ultralisks right now. There's not really too many Immortals. There's just one on the field with another one coming out from the Robo, using Storms onto those Ultralisks as well. He will be able to clear some of this out with the Archons coming in as well.
Oh my God.
So he does defend. Loses a lot in the process again, and SHIN is sitting here on 84 drones, trying to max out again, is getting to max quite quickly, while Classic is just sitting at 120 supply.
Yeah, this is looking worse and worse for Classic. The longer the game goes on. He's basically in this, endless defense game that he's losing. He's, slowly losing a tower defense game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He just keeps picking the wrong towers by accident. It's now I go for the Tempest Tower. It's fuck, there's Ultralisks. Shit, I didn't fucking expect that.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough. I don't know. I think SHIN could finish him off here in a little bit.
Yeah, it would be really nice to have those Tempest if the Zerg player was going for a big Lurker transition. That's generally what they're very useful against. And then, maybe they go into the Corruptors as well. You could just kind of keep picking away at those, and it's very good. But they don't really do anything against the Ultralisks. You really want to make sure you get as many Immortals on the ground as possible. And you can see that Classic is really desperately trying to get as many out. He's got 2 Robos chronoing out Immortals. to try and combat this. His army supply is yet again quite large, and it looks much better this time. This is a much more robust army. This is more what you're liking in a late game PvZ. So many Archons and Immortals with some Templar and that Mothership above. So this is looking like a better chance for Classic, but he's got so few of these remaxes left in him.
Yeah, he's going to move out, and this is one of these moments where you have to basically be a wrecking ball pushing through all this, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, you've got all these altars plus the spines that are just above the screen here.
Oh, the Templar getting fungled and killed off before they could do really anything, and now everything's starting to evaporate from Classic on the ground. The Mothership not able to do an insane amount of DPS. Shin is barely even below maxed at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Shin is going to be dropping in the main. I would give this game like a minute. I mean, there's like no
I'm giving it 10 seconds.
Yeah. I'm like, I think it should be done by the time I'm done yawning.
That would have been perfect if it actually lined up. Oh, man.
This is rough. So, yeah, I mean, there's just no way to recover. He lost his army, and then he lost his infrastructure.
The main base is getting completely ransacked. Yeah. It's another big doom drop in the main with all those lings.
All that's left is probes and nexuses.
Yeah,
you know,
and 4 zealots getting worked in on War Prison. Wow, I really think this is going to do equalizing damage at the top here. What do you think, Tasteless?
I think you're right. I think you're damn right.
I'm going to yawn, and it's going to deal a lot of damage.
This game will be done by the time I see this. Achoo! GG! All right.
Oh, boy.
That was rough. That was a rough game.
Yeah.
That was kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
That map is very big. There's a lot of bases Zerg can take. It's a long walk for Protoss to move out. The Mothership makes you, in some ways, even a little bit slower.
Yeah. You have to really just stay bunched up underneath it the entire time.
You're only as fast as your slowest unit.
Whoa, words of wisdom from Tasteless. Down. Oh my god.
Good tattooed.
Oh my god.
Right
what
here,
do they say about concaves and convexes again, Tasteless?
Concave beats the convex.
Oh,
I'm like, I think
every
it's
time.
Convex beats the concave, right? All right, guys, here's our results. We're done with groups. We're all about
groups
brackets
are so
now.
yesterday.
Groups are for boomers. We are all about brackets.
We like brackets.
We like brackets.
Bracket.
So look, who actually moved on? Seoul Byun. All right, very cool. Seoul, probably the guy who's gonna win the whole thing.
Yep.
Rogue Solar over here, so 2 Zergs, good. Because we don't like Protoss. We want the Protosses to lose. We only have 1 Protoss advancing herO. But it's hero's the one that already won the RSL.
He's gonna win anyways. Yeah.
Shin, well done, of course. Shin, I think a well-deserved win. Beating Classic, by the way, who's, basically one of the RSL greats, the GOATs. And Clem and Lambo.
Mm-hmm.
So that Cyril's not lonely. Over there, we brought a couple more of his friends from Europe. From Europe.
Nice. Some Europeans.
Europe. And don't worry, we got NA covered. Americans will be casting that for
Every region is represented here.
They're not as good of a region, but man, can they talk? They can talk so well. So we're gonna go to a break, right? Okay, so we're gonna be doing the group draw.
Bracket draw.
But we're gonna rig it. We gotta figure out how to do that. So we're gonna take a short break. We come back, we'll be doing that for you guys. So we'll be right back.